Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Remix.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Gave you a little remix there on Real Talk Friday, only on A2D Radio. Welcome in, everybody. Jam-packed show for you. But before we get to any of that, every show is brought to you by Art Doc. Got to make them yours. That's Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Tom Arnaud and Ryan Brodo. Look at the Ritz, man. Look at the Ritz, man. Looks like he's in a hotel room. Look at him. So professional. Look, this guy's on the road. He's traveling, but he's always here. He's always here when you need him. Stepping up big tonight. Mr. Jake Friel, what's up, brother? What's up, everybody? Everybody that's going to be joining us. Listen, is there a fly in here? There's a fly in here. I'll freaking smoke that.
Miyagi
missed.
Miyagi almost took out the camera.
I'm the wax guy. Yeah, now I got to do wax. I don't want to be the wax guy. NFL Week 9 predictions. We'll give you some of them against the spread. Give you a little walking around money. Sixers. Who's most likely to be traded? We want to know. We want you to let us know, and we're going to let you know. I got like 3 names for you. You've seen it on all our socials that you can follow: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, everywhere. Okay, you can follow us everywhere, and you've seen that one. So we're going to dive in to that one a little bit, or if there's somebody else, or if you think it's one of the big 3 or big 2. Sorry, if you think it's one of them, let us know. I'll tell you, you're probably an idiot, but we can talk about it. I mean, everything's talkable. It's agree disagree radio. NFL Contenders and Pretenders. I mean, listen, the Pretenders. I think we all know who they are. There's a few because there's no parity right now in the NFL. You know what I mean? There really isn't parity to me. There's the big boys, and then there's a bunch of teams that stink, that flat out stink, and we don't think are good enough. So, not like other years where I feel like it's a lot tougher. I mean, I think you know who your contenders are, right? And we'll see if somebody's got any ones outside the box for us tonight too. So we'll do NFL Contenders, Pretenders, Eagles that will step up in the second half of the season. There's a lot of names that we can bring up, and we will bring up throughout the course of this show on guys that we think we need more from. So we'll dive into that. Our poll question brought to you by Ambuck Services. 20% off all your gutter guards, gutter installations, everything. 20% off. Telling the boys from A2D Radio sent you. Carson Wentz will have a bounce-back second half of the season. Agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcast, we're there as well. Like, follow, subscribe, download. Do it all. Jump in the conversation. Let's talk about it. Marquise already in the conversation. Quick question. If we do come up with a good package for Harden, can we include Greg? What's up, gang? Absolutely. Absolutely. Take them, Marquise. Take them. We'll send them right on down. Right on down to Houston. No issues here. No complaints here.
He ain't living with me.
Well, I was trying to bunk him up with you.
Absolutely not.
That was the goal. That was the goal. So Carson Wentz will have a bounce-back second half of the season. Agree or disagree? Chime in. Conversate with us tonight. We'll try to read off as much as we can, like we always do. I'm going to say agree, okay? I know the other night I was very critical. And probably the first time in a while this past week, I was critical of Carson Wentz. And rightfully so, right? Can't run from that kind of performance unless you're just a jackass, right? Sometimes I might be a jackass, but in terms of sports, I feel like no. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be a jackass. I still believe in this kid because there hasn't been that huge track record of turnovers like we talked about a couple nights ago. There hasn't been them things outside of fumbling, right? But throwing interceptions really isn't something he's done a lot of throughout the course of his career. So I want to expect it to change. I want to expect getting some guys back is going to help the process of Carson Wentz. And the bigger thing than anything, guys, if we want to be a playoff team, because we're not nerds, we don't care about the draft. So if we want to be a playoff team and try to win a playoff game somehow or whatever we want to try to do, we need him playing his best football in the second half. If we want to be a contender, right? Because we're going to need to beat some teams in the second half of our schedule if we want to be even considered a contender, right? I mean, if we can win a couple of them tough games, we would look better. Well, guess what would help us do that? Good quarterback play. Great quarterback play, which we've seen him do in the past. We've seen him do numerous times in the past. Okay, now you're getting some key contributors back here. Can you get some chemistry? Can you get rid of the football? And can you trust? Right? And that's what we all want to see in the second half of this season. All right, there's a lot of eyes on him right now. A ton of eyes. There's always eyeballs on him, but now they're like binoculars. They're like, oh, what'd you do there? What'd you do there? That's a bad ball. Like, well, you know what I mean? So you're going to have them guys. Every pass now. Got to clean it up. No running from it. But I believed in this kid from day one. And we know what he isn't. Like people say, he threw his best season was 2017. He had 60% completion percentage. That's nothing to crown. But they ran the football and they were able to go off a play action. If you can't fake a ball in somebody's gut and nobody respects it, it means nothing. You're just wasting time. Make sense? So if you can't run the football, play action is irrelevant. We're throwing the ball 61% of the time. 61% of the time. Listen, I love Madden. I love throwing it around. Love a spin party. Okay? But let's be realistic here. The best in there is 55-45. In my opinion, that's where I want to be. And some people would argue even a little closer than that. I want it. But 55-45 is where I want to be, in that range. 61% is a joke. That's a disgrace, especially with a quarterback who's had in and outs all over the place too. We always say that if there's one thing you can do being beat up front is you should be always able to run the football. It should be easier on guys to run the football. So 61% of the time we want to drop back and pass with all the injuries on the outside, with a banged up offensive line. You know what I mean? To me, Doug Peterson, for Carson Wentz to have a really good second half and a bounce back, needs to help that process out like any quarterback in the National Football League. If you don't have a run game that anybody respects and they expect you to throw 61% of the time, guess what it is? Here's Pinback City. And we're just coming to beat you up all night because we know we ain't respecting you running the football. That's got to change. And I know he's never been a first half run guy, but he's never been that egregious for this long. We talk about 61%, right, guys? Never been that egregious for this long. So that's got to get cleaned up for Carson Wentz to have the kind of second half we want him to have. But I do agree to the poll question because I believe in the kid. I believe in his toughness. I believe in him late in games. I believe in that stuff. So Carson Wentz will have a bounce back second half of the season. Agree or disagree? I completely and 100% agree. And I'm willing to, if he's healthy, I'm willing to stamp a reputation on it that he has a really big second half. I'm really, but because what do we? He's won his football games late too. He's made some big throws here in the first half too. He hasn't been perfect. If you can just eliminate his turnovers, his interceptions, if you can just stop turn the football over for a couple games, that's the bounce back right there. And, you know what I mean? Then the bounce back's over. All he's got to do is just not turn the football over. His TD numbers are fine. All that stuff's fine. It's right around where it should be. It's the picks that are killing him and hurting his football team too. But it gets cleaned up. Family, you tell us. Agree or disagree? Carson Wentz will have a bounce back second half of the season. Agree or disagree? I told you, putting the whole reputation on it. If he's healthy, he bounces back. Let's go. Andy? I'm just kidding. Nah. Andy, you know what, Andy? He's just back in here for us.
Come on. So,
Indulge us.
So I'm running some numbers over here, right? Because my whole shtick here is I'm a stat guy, right? And so what's the best thing I do? I look at numbers, I look at stats, and that's how I understand more of the game. So he's been consistent. That's one thing that he has shown over, the last few years is he's always consistent. So he's on track to do what he did last year, the year before that, and the year before that. So to say a bounce back, I don't think he's going to, because he's going to be, if he stays on the path. Well, but hold on though. If he stays on track with what he's doing, we're going to be fine. It's everybody else around him that needs to start stepping up and doing their job. Right? That's the key there. Carson's doing what Carson does. Carson's doing what he did. It's everybody else around him that isn't doing what he's supposed to be doing.
The turnovers are
just, but they're so 17, 18, and 19. He only had 7 interceptions the entire season, right?
Yeah.
16, he had 14, and this year he has 12. This might be his worst for interceptions. So yeah, don't throw it as many interceptions. But aside from that, you're still on track for everything else. Yards per game, touchdowns per game, everything. He's on track to do fine. It's the people around him, the people that need to step up.
So you're telling me 24 picks then? Because I don't care about the touchdowns then. If he's throwing 24 interceptions this year,
well, that's a problem.
That's atrocious. I mean,
that's a problem.
He called the National Guard in. I mean, that is we got to clean things up here. We can't have. Probably not the week to say National Guard. Digress. But no, I mean, listen, then it's clean stuff up. I mean, I don't disagree with you, Andy, because that's sort of where I was trying to go with it too. That if everything stays the same, them numbers are probably where they usually are, right? And that's exactly what you said there. And that's the direction they're going for. The only thing that you got to step in and say, well, what are you bouncing back from? Well, you're bouncing back from 12 interceptions. You're bouncing back. I don't even know how many fumbles. I mean, countless fumbles. I mean, just 2 the other.
He's got 7.
7. So that's.
But he's only lost 4.
Okay, he's lost 4. So that means he's turned the football over 16 times. 16 times himself in 8 games. That's an average of twice a game he's turned the football over. Now is that that's bad. I mean, that's not good enough. I mean, 1 a game I'm living with, right? 1 a game on that average is so much. It's drastically different, right, than 2. Like 1's drastically different than 2 in the NFL. It can win or lose a football game, and I'm not putting the losses on him. I'm just making a point. Like that 1 or 2, that 1 extra 1 could cost you a game, especially when you don't have a defense that enjoys taking it over. They don't enjoy taking anything away. So you know what I mean? So you look at that side of it too, which doesn't help it. But 2 a game needs to be cleaned up. Needs to absolutely be cleaned up. Breaking 16 turnovers, and grow up. And grow up. I mean, that's rookie. That's rookie shit. That's rookie shit. And I can't sit here and just continue to blame it on personnel always. Like when I'm watching you just make bad decisions, right? It's like the weeks before when guys didn't go after footballs or come back for footballs, I'm attacking them and saying, you guys don't know football because you don't understand the route trade, right? You don't understand what a guy's supposed to do. But in these situations like Sunday night, they're 100% on him. 100% on him. All 4 of them turnovers are on him.
Yep.
All 4. So I can't just sit here and we're No Agenda Radio. I love the guy. I think he's talented as all hell. But I can't sit here and lie on what I watched. And then I also watch him make some big throws. So, he's a mind fuck. If you want to be honest with you. This year he totally is. I'm confused by it. I understand the change of offensive alignment all the time. I understand the change in personnel all the time. I understand all that. I truly do. But listen, you're in year 5. You're in year 5. Year 3, I can say, you're in year 5. Year 5, I need to step up. So the Carson Wentz will have a bounce back second half of the season. Agree or disagree? I agree. Andy disagrees because he said there's nothing to bounce back from. This is who he is. Right? Jake, fam, what do you guys say?
Yeah, I think I mean, the good thing is, like you said earlier, Tom, is that like they're getting healthy, they're getting kind of just their players back and that whole thing, which is fine. And they have the Giants coming off a bye week, which also helps. But it just leaves a sour taste in my mouth that he only put up 123 yards against the worst defense in football. And he turned the football over 4 times against the worst defensive football, where I think they were a -13 in turnovers. So I hope that he turns it around. I really hope he does. With everything going around, I think he will turn it around. But like you said, it's year 5. And right now, it looks like he has weapons. He has legitimate weapons. Jalen Rieger, okay, it's 1 game. He scored a touchdown, whoop-de-doo. Travis Fulgham looks like he's legit. But at the same time, it's just it's all on Carson. From top to bottom, it's all on Carson. He's the reason our record is what it is, and we're sitting where we're sitting right now. So it's just one of these things where everything is set up for him to come back and do well. But it's just the question being, will he do well? And I think he will do well.
So you'll agree. Okay, so
Yeah.
Jake agrees. And some of the things you said, that, we could touch on for a sec, and then Rygo is, the like personnel coming back matters, and everything around him matters. But then the biggest thing that we talked about so far is the guy calling stuff in. How much of that over aggressive pass happy offense, okay, is on Doug Peterson, and how much of that is on Carson Wentz changing plays at the line of scrimmage? That's what I want to know. Like, if I'm in a presser and somebody out there that's in a goddamn press conference, would somebody press up on somebody? Would somebody man up? I know COVID's around, so don't man up too close. But would somebody man up on somebody and say, yo, real quick question. Doug, are you calling 61% pass plays? And how much of them 61% of your pass plays, what percentage of them are your quarterback changing at the line of scrimmage? I'm just asking for a fan base and a bunch of guys in here that are too much of cowards to ask you. So I'm curious, because it's a serious question. I want to know. I want to know if Doug has to then jump in. Like, will Doug jump in, because Doug's always been a second half run guy, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Been his MO. Is he going to jump in and say, you know what, we got to balance this out? If it's on him or on both of them. You know what I mean? Or both of them playing Madden. You know what I mean? You're playing 2-player, right? And you're just jazzed up. I'll play wide receiver and go catch every one for you. You know what I mean? Like, are you doing that? Or is it one or the other, right? So that's what I really want to find out. So that's another big question on why this is now hurting our quarterback. This is hurting our quarterback as well. So Carson Wentz will have a bounce back second half of the season. Agree or disagree? Let us know. Rye? So right now, me, Jake. Marquise brought his name up. I'm surprised Bryce in it. Bryce has a lot of names in here sometimes, which we love. John, we'll get to yours in a second. So I agree. Jake agrees. Andy disagrees for whole other reasons. And we'll touch on that a little bit later.
Yeah, well, I've got something for Ritz in a minute for that, because I'm shocked that because the stat guy, I'm shocked that the stat guy would actually disagree with that, but I'll get to that in a second. I absolutely agree to the poll. I do believe he's going to rebound, because when we talk about trends, when we talk about who Carson Wentz is, it's all he's done. It's all he's done. You look at obviously last year, which is, seems kind of obvious because we always talk about it, but it's the truth. You look at it to where he had a putrid first, I would say, 2/3 of last season, comes back and is awesome. One of the best quarterbacks in the league for the final stretch of games to get this team into the playoffs. I think obviously this bye week couldn't have happened at a better time. And like what we've talked about for this entire team, sometimes it takes this team having to go to all-time lows for them having to look each other into the mirror and say, okay, what needs to be fixed? The reason why I'm shocked, Andy, stat guy, that you disagree with this, it's because I have some stats of my own that says that he absolutely needs to rebound from what he's done, because if he doesn't, the Eagles might not even win their own division. And I understand stats don't completely tell the full story, but I'm just, while we're on the topic of stats,
they do in turnovers.
Yes, they do. And then when you talk about completion percentage, I would say he needs to rebound from being 31st out of 32 quarterbacks so far. Yards per attempt, 29th.
What's his completion percentage?
31st.
No, I know.
I don't have the actual, Andy, if you want to bring that up, like his actual completion percentage. I want to say it's like in the 60s. It's something. It's not. QBR 28, passer rating 30th.
It's 63%. Oh, that's his
63.09.
Right.
Yeah, it is career. Hold on.
Right now it's 58. So way lower than his career average. So 58%.
But honestly, I do believe, like we talked about, you guys touched on before, I do believe he's going to bounce back for the biggest reason we're starting to see, because of health, continuity is going to return to this offense, even with just the additions of Dallas Goedert being fully healthy and Miles Sanders. Because as we know, like you talked about, Tom, in the second half, Doug likes to rely on the run game a little bit more. Also likes to get Miles Sanders involved in the passing game a little bit more. Why he doesn't do that in the first half, that's a conversation for another day. But, what it is that's just who Doug is. So I think obviously getting guys who he trusts, in addition to obviously Fulgham, who he clearly trusts, and I think him and Rager have, a little bit of a rapport. And Hightower obviously getting better each week, taking little baby steps to improve. I do believe that he can't do anything but go up from here. And if he doesn't, I think it goes back to the conversation that we had on Wednesday. That is, the more he struggles, I'm not saying he's going to see the bench, but the more we're going to see these Jalen Hurts type drives, for example, just to get a new look of the offense into play and also give him a breather. But to the poll, I absolutely agree, because this is what this guy does. And on top of that, when you talk about building blocks that we haven't really seen in the past, in even his worst games so far this year, he's shown the opportunity and the ability to be clutch in the fourth quarter and in the final drives. That's something that was always a criticism of his in the past. And it seems like he's not a quarterback like I'll mention like a Cam Newton, for example. He's I always talk about him because it seems like if you get to him early, or like a Jared Goff, for example, or a Garoppolo, if you get to them early, they're done. If they have a rough first quarter, they're done. They're not somebody who's going to rebound and have a great second half, like, for example, like a Mahomes or a Russell Wilson, for example. So that's something that we know in the positive realm of things. So because of that, I do believe he's not going to have a 2017 type second half, but he's going to be good enough for this team to comfortably get into the playoffs in this division.
Yeah, you guys want to know the biggest stat? So we can sit here and we can read numbers and we can read turnovers and et cetera, right? We can go on and on and on. And there's some bad ones. So if you look through from 2016 on, how many times he's been sacked, right?
I was just going to bring that up.
So in 2016, he was sacked 33 times. 2017, 28. 2018, he was sacked 31 times. In 2019, he was sacked 37 times. And in 2020, he's been sacked 32 times. 32.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
3 and a 2. So he's already right at the average on where he's been sacked every year up until this year. So like I've said before in the past, is some of that maybe holding on to it too long? Could be. But all the moving and shaking up there has gotten him beat up. Because if I read you out these numbers, you're going to tell me this is an average to below average quarterback. 270 passing yards, 2 TDs, 2 picks. 242, 0 TDs, 2 picks. 225, 1 TD, 2 picks. 193, 1 TD, 1 pick. 258, 2 and 2. 213, 2 TDs, no picks. 359, 2 TDs, 1 pick. 123, 2 and 2. If I read them numbers off, if I read all them numbers off to you, you tell me that's an average to below average quarterback. So there's a lot to bounce back from. There's a hell of a lot to bounce back from. A ton, because that's not good enough. And I'm a Carson supporter. That's atrocious. Okay? That's atrocious numbers. Has he played well in some games down the stretch? Yeah, absolutely. Has he made some big throws for his football team? Absolutely. But I can't run from all of it, and I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Right? It's a combination of a lot of things. Not running the football enough, holding on to the football, trying to make the big play, okay? And guys all in and out all over the place. That's all equal to being sacked 32 times and having 16 overall turnovers. All that's led to this. So a bounce back definitely needs to happen. It needs to happen soon. Steelers fan 1, what's up? What's up, guys? You all should watch us invade Jerry Jones's place. I mean, you should. I mean, I would hope so.
You guys are like the best team in the NFL right now. I'd hope so.
Why
I mean, come on. I mean, that should be an easy one for you guys. It's what we call Cupcake City, right? I mean, for you guys, right? The nerdy sports guy. Eagles go 5-3 after the bye week, sweep the rest of the NFC East opponents, and beat Browns and/or Seahawks. It's all in any given Sunday type thing. It is. I would love to be optimistic and say we'll go 5-3, but the numbers I just read out to you from the quarterback perspective, right? If that numbers continue, there's no shot in hell we go 5-3.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
He needs to bounce back, even though we all agree essentially, outside of Andy. You know what I mean? But he disagrees for they're disagreeing for different reasons outside of our control.
Because I know what I know.
Steve, my family Harris, says he needs to go to the bench. And Jonathan Palmer is saying he definitely will bounce back. So he agrees. He agrees to it. Bryce yelling, run the football. And John Coyle, I'm not defending Doug, but does he look at these guys and say, oh, I'd rather have Carson, so I'm putting the ball in his hands? Yeah. I think that's a lot of it, too. I think it's like, I'm going to put the ball in my best player's hands because, look what I have. So hopefully he can make a play for us, right? And it's been a press thing. It's been a press thing because of what you've had out there, right? So not only is Carson pressing to try to make a big play, right? Your football coach is pressing to try to do the same thing because look what he has out there. What are you going to – you're going to put the ball in Boston Scott and Miles Sanders' hands? I mean, Boston Scott and Corey Clement's hands 35 times? You're going to do that? You're going to do that? Train wreck city? That's a train wreck city, okay? That's Sunday night. We're waking up freaking depressed as shit Monday morning, okay? Waking up depressed as shit, all right? Because, I know Chuck's last night said Miles had a really good game. He did, and he said he did a better job of not bouncing. He bounced like 3 runs outside that, like, every other running back hits in the gut. You know what I mean? And we don't have that. And I'm not taking a shot at Chuck's. I'm just making a point. Like, he still does it too much because you got to get inside the tackles once in a while, right? Once in a while. But he's Uncle Bounce. Boston Scott, that is. I mean, he's played well, Darren Sproles, but he's Uncle Bounce right now. So.
Well, I think, and honestly, Tom, to your point, I think when you talk about Doug and Carson, that whole aspect, he said it before numerous times to where, he's going to go to his best guy and everything. But like we talked about before, it's like Doug and sometimes Carson in the retrospective, when you talk about making the key throws or not making the key mistakes, and then Doug when it talks about, going to the run or being more cautious or just trying to force feed the quarterback into doing hero ball. It's like they don't know the true temperature in the room. You know what I'm saying? It's like we keep going. Like, I hate to keep going back to that Dallas Cowboys game because we obviously won, but number one, that's the most recent game. And number two, we saw all of those glaring issues is why I think we still have to have this conversation. It's because, like we all talked about, and we're all Carson guys here. We're all Doug Peterson guys here. But you could have literally played the most cautious, standard game plan on offense, and you would have won by 30 points.
I put the ball in Corey Clement's freaking belly, even though he's not good enough, right? I'll just leave it there. Not good enough, but I would put it in his belly 20 times. You understand? Yes. I would put it in his damn belly 20 times in a game like that because I know if my defense is as good as I think they can be, that they shut them down, and they did. So now I'm going to put it in his gut, and I'm going to say, you know what, we're going to get out of here. And guess what? You start putting it in his gut, and you get some gashers. Guess what happens? Then you start getting cute with some play actions, right? And then you get some guys wide open.
Well, and the other thing too is like Boston Scott he was averaging 9.5 yards per carry. You know what Doug does? He's like, nah, I'm not good with that. Hey, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Why would you not just keep feeding? Maybe because he's a little guy. I don't know. Is it
And
little baby guy? Little baby guy. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, he's Darren Sproles, so he should be able to handle it according to 90% of the fan base. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, and the crazy thing is this, and I'm not trying to make it
20 touches and release him on Monday. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give him 20 touches, 25 touches, run him into the ground. If he has a bad game, I release him Monday. You know what I mean? It's that simple. It's that simple. If he has a good game, hey, stay around a little bit at the end. Right? I literally, it's a game for me to see if I have a guy that can run between the tackles anywhere. There's like one guy right now with Miles out. Like, either one of you guys want to run between tackles? Because Boston Scott never runs between tackles. He's tackleless. Like, he wants to get everything outside, and that's fine. And he has some big runs doing that on Sunday night. And credit to him. I think he has a skill set that plays in this league, right? But I need somebody to run somebody. I'm not talking about old school I formation dives here. I'm just talking about somebody who can run between their putrid tackles, right? They're putrid tackles. Okay, can somebody run the football up there? I got my all-pro center up there, right? Can we maybe hit the dive? Can we maybe hit the 30, the little 22 piece, right? I mean, I don't know. That's just me. So I give Corey Clement a chance to say, hey, you want to be on this team for a little bit?
Well, and on top of that, Tom, again, we're talking about a team that we're going up against in the Dallas Cowboys that statistically they're one of the worst rushing defenses in the history of the league. I said it because it's true. Wouldn't you think, especially when you look at the past, 6 games before this past Sunday, and you talk about getting involved, a certain quarterback that you drafted in the second round who can run the ball, he can move the ball, he could change the play, the whole motion of the offense. That would have been the clear moment to just see, hey, Jalen, we're going to run you a couple times. They didn't even do it once. Yeah, they did.
You know
what I'm saying? like that's the game, dog. That's the game where you do that.
They did it once. He got killed at the goal line.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. That was also after the touchdown. They were probably, you know what it was? It was probably they were so starstruck because they got a touchdown that really wasn't a touchdown that they're like, okay, Jalen, just run out to the field real quick. Go. And he got semi-murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I still believe that this team, just because of what is in the division, is the clear favorite to win this division. It's almost like they got to give it away, right? They got to literally say, I don't want it anymore. It's got to be like that bad. Like they have to play that bad of football to not win this division. They do. Because the Giants aren't going to win games. They're going to be tough. They're going to fight. They're not winning games. The Washington is tough. It's tough, but knock it off. Like, knock it off. Just stop. No. Right? But they have the second best chance. And we know what Dallas is. So, I mean, the only team that is going to give you got to even worry about is Washington. I'm not concerned in the least right now about that. I know, if Houston was in chat, you think, Tom, we beat you week 1. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. I know this division goes. I know we'll beat you the second time then. Okay? Mm-hmm. But, listen, I'm not looking ahead. We're in no position to look ahead. We're in a position to look, can we go and beat the New York Giants? And who needs to bounce back in that big second half for us to be able to do the things we're talking about maybe doing? Well, Carson Wentz is one, right? Carson Wentz is example A on who needs to bounce back. Number 2, I'm going to go with, is another $100 million man.
Ooh.
Who I've heard people say has played good football. I've heard people also say that the other 2 tackles have played really good football.
I have something, Tom, real quick. I have something for that as a response to that.
What the fuck are you talking about? How do you judge D tackles? To me, I judge how they stop the run, and I judge how many times did they hit the quarterback. Mm-hmm. It's not very attractive when you look at Malik and Javon Hargrave's hits on quarterbacks. Now, granted, they've both been out a little bit, but it's not attractive, and either is it for Fletcher Cox. So the next name is Fletcher Cox. Fletcher Cox will have a bounce back second half of the season, agree or disagree. So we're gonna play this game with a couple of different guys here on this roster. Will he bounce back? I think he has 2.5 sacks through 8. Is that good enough for you guys? Is that okay for you guys?
Absolutely not. When you look at the offensive lines that we've gone up against in the first 8 weeks, putrid.
Guy can't even hit a quarterback.
No.
I did have a good game against Dallas, so maybe that ties into him having a bounce back second half. I'm going to agree with it, and I'll tell you guys why. Because that's been his MO his whole career too. Right? If you look through Fletcher Cox's numbers, game by game, year in, year out, he plays better football in the second half.
Yep. Always
has. His football teams played better football in the second half. It's just been their MO for a long time, guys. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think? What do you think, guys? I think he has a bounce back. And what bounce back I mean is he has hey, give me 5 sacks. Right? I mean, how we bounce back in 8 weeks compared to 2.5. You're doubling your sack production. Right? That'd be a big second half for him. Big second half. Sam Fleming says, I'd rather develop Holyfield and give snaps than continue to watch Clement. But yes. Anybody but Clement. I don't care. The worst guy. I'll eat the real. I'll eat it up. I don't think. I don't know if any other back can play. I'll just tell you. I think I'll watch any back and feel like I'm watching Barry Sanders compared to watching Corey Clement. All right, and that's the route you can get. All right, do it.
Well, Andy, remind me to meme that later.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz will have a bet. That's what I want to bet.
That too.
Mary's girlfriend. It's like Jamal Mary's girlfriend. Is that you? Is that you, Jamal?
Bubblegate.
Bubblegate.
Oh, wait. I have something for that, too.
That music was aggressive. I mean, I thought auditioning.
A2D casting couch.
Yes,
I think there's a bed behind me.
Is this your first time, Jake? Is this your first? Have you? Okay. Fletcher Cox will have a bounce back second half. Agree or disagree, Jake?
Yeah, I'm going to agree to the poll. Obviously, like you said, history's shown he tends to turn it on in the second half of the season. But, I mean, what I'm more worried about is the rest of the line. Obviously, aside from Brandon Graham, I'm worried about everyone else. Worried about Malik Jackson and Javon Hargraves. I'd love to see him this year. He's been playing, but I haven't seen him.
Javon's been milk cart and Malik's been right?
Yeah.
Like, he does some games where you're like, oh, there he is. And then it's like the next thing you're like, did he play today? Agree.
Well, see, I think he's going to have a big bounce back second half because I think I'm going to put my number one on the board, my number one player as far as predictions. That's going to have a huge second half. We talked about it on Wednesday. I think it is going to be Malik Jackson because out of the three, obviously, when you talk about Hargrave, you talk about Fletcher, and you talk about Malik, the guy who's shown the most signs of being that guy or the guy that we signed them to be is Malik Jackson. Now, he needs to show more consistency, obviously, and I think, the big part of it, and it's not an excuse, it's a reason, because we gave Fletcher the reason last year. We've given many players. We gave Brandon Graham the reason 2 years ago. Malik Jackson was returning from a major injury, which obviously kept him out all last season. That's why he only played 5 snaps for us all of last year. He went out in the first game in week 1 in 2019. So I think obviously like we saw with Fletcher Cox coming back from injury last season, it took him about 8-9 weeks to get going. So when you talk about a guy who's shown the most flashes as far as the interior defensive line, it is a guy like Malik Jackson. So I think when you have him starting to figure it out, like we always talk about how they feed off of each other, or at least they're supposed to.
Do you think he's played better football than Fletcher Cox? Like take the money out because they're both getting paid. So
it's a great question. It's a great question.
Hard to say, right? I think we put more pressure on Fletcher. At least I do. Like, hey, I'm guilty. Tom's guilty, right? Mm-hmm. I put tons of pressure on Fletch, but I don't know if Malik played better than him. You know what I mean? I know flashes were to us. It's like, oh, there he is, because we're excited to see him. So,
I would say Malik has had more quote unquote breakout games than Fletcher, to where he was the guy as far as like the game changer on the defensive line. Fletcher has had more games. Like Malik has either had a really good game or he's been non-existent. You know what I'm saying? Fletcher, you're always seeing a little bit of him each game.
Yeah, the Dallas game was his best overall one. But yeah. I hear he hasn't played up to Fletcher Cox level. You know what I mean? That's why he would need a bounce back. So, yeah. You know what I mean? I like the Malik Jackson call, though, Rye. I do.
I'm hoping.
It's an important piece. Andy, Fletcher Cox will have a bounce back second half of the season. Agree or disagree, Uncle Statty?
I got to agree that he will, right? I mean, this is one of your backbones of your entire defensive line there. And just looking at the numbers, like you said, you want him to go to 5 sacks, right? I think that's asking too little of him at that point. I mean, you look at some of his better years, right? 9.5, 6.5, 10.5, right? You know, this is a season where you should be expecting 6 to 7.5 sacks out of Fletcher Cox on this, back half of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I said 5.5.
Right, and I'm saying you're too low because 5 is lower than 6.5 and 7.5.
Well, 5.5 gives him 8. Which is around where.
No, I'm saying 6.5 to 7.5 more.
I know, and I'm saying 5.5 more. I'm saying that he should be around 8, and you're saying he should be around 10, and that's fine.
Yes.
Okay, guys, listen, I agree with you. And Lord's saying, oh, well, he gets doubled all the time. Lord, the greats get doubled and they beat it. You know what I mean? I love you, and I love the opinion, and I used to say that a lot too. But at some point, I say, F it, go beat that guy. But Lawrence Taylor got doubled his whole life. You know what I mean? And he just beat dudes. Reggie White got doubled. The greats get doubled. Beat them. Go ahead, Andy. Sorry.
No, you're fine. But again, you're one of the backbones of this entire team, right? Aside from like Jason Peters and Jason Kelsey and Brandon Graham, right? You've been there for 9 years. You've done your entire career here. Start stepping up and being the locker room leader that you need to be and proving that you earned and you can keep your spot.
I like it. Well, I mean, you look at it too, Andy, to where, I think obviously to Tom's point, you said what, another 5.5 for the next 8 games?
Yeah, put him around 8 for the year.
And Andy, you say what, 7, 7.5?
Yeah, 7.
Well, Andy, I mean, I think to your point, that extra couple sacks could be the difference in this division. You know what I'm saying?
100%, absolutely.
With the way this offense is playing, I'll take every sack I can get.
Yeah, I mean, listen, let's be real for a second, everybody. If Fletcher Cox ends this season with under 5 sacks, let's just think about this for a minute. What does he have right now, Mr. Ritz? 2.5?
2.5.
2.5. If he only doubles that production, I'm not going to be happy. Okay?
Probably trading him.
We can rip everybody else for not having bad years. We can rip him too. So I don't care if he doubled, tripled, quadrupled. I don't care if the whole line shifts. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you need to get home. And if you're not getting home, pressure on the quarterback and quarterback hits matter to me. All right? They matter in this league. And there's not enough of them either. So he always has had great second halves. And I'm going to agree that he bounces back big in the second half, and this football team needs him. Who's up next, Rye?
Which player? Which player are we going to next?
Oh, no, we're on Fletcher still. I didn't know if you went. You go?
Yeah,
Jake,
no, I went. I agree.
Jake, you went on Fletcher, right?
Yep.
All right, just confirming everybody went. It's swing in the room.
So, gentlemen, before we go to the next one, I have to bounce out.
Oh.
All right, Andy.
Sorry, guys. I got to go.
Wow.
Yeah. It was fun, though.
Think you know a guy.
Hey, man, I hung in there for as long as a non-sports fan can. Thank God for stats. Hey!
I just wonder, I'm just curious on your text, the text you got. You know what I mean? I'm more asking for the people because I feel like you got maybe a message and it took you away.
Oh.
No, I'm asking for the people on what that message would entail. And I'm going to.
I have somewhere to be and people to see and things to do. Yeah, so I'll see y'all in this very ring tomorrow. Cheap plug.
Oh, now we're doing plugs.
I'm a wrestling fan. I'm born on plugs.
Yeah, well, guess what? You know what? You say a lot of things about me. I can sniff it out. You know what I mean? And I sniffed that one out from a mile away. And congratulations to whatever you're like. Whatever you indulge in tonight, I wish you nothing but the best. All right, and it's a pleasure it's my pleasure to have you. You know what I mean? That's what they say. That's what they say.
I'm honored to be on the air with you three gentlemen.
Yeah, it's like it's.
I'm not honored about the other two, but for you, for sure.
Well, yeah, you're on them all the time, so.
Yeah,
You got called Vontae Davis.
Who's Monty? I didn't say it. Where'd it come in? No. How you looking?
Wait, hold on.
Don't ask that. Don't even do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you ask who Vontae Davis is, you're definitely I'm leaving. I'm kicking you out for you.
It's a cat bag.
So on that note, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, bye, girl. That's all right. So if you're just joining us, our poll question, our main one was Carson Wentz will have a bounce back second half of the season. Do you agree or disagree? We've led that into Fletcher Cox, and now we're going to segue it into another player on the defensive front that has had a first half of the season up against it money-wise as well, and that's one Derek Barnett. So Derek Barnett will have a bounce back second half of the season. Agree or disagree? Oh, man. He's a tough one to feel out, right?
Mm-hmm.
He truly is. For argument's sake, because I don't think a lot of people are going to say this, and for us to win a division and maybe win a home playoff game, I'm going to say he does. And I believe he has, 3 sacks now? He's right around there. 2.5. He's another 2.5 piece or 3 piece, right? But that's a guy, again, who needs to have around 5 sacks in the second half to bounce back. And I know Patrick says disagree, and every bit of me disagrees with it, right? Because why would he at this point? Like I said before the year, well, if this is good, if you're gonna have a good year, you're gonna have a good year when you're up against it money wise, right? And you're looking for a new deal. That's when guys have their best years if you're gonna have it. And he's been, he's a good run stopper, but have we stopped the run as a whole well? No.
Nope.
So I can't crown anybody for stopping the run well. And at the end of the day, we pay pass rushers and we draft them top 15, like one Howie Roseman did, to get to the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, Derek Barnett has not gotten to the quarterback. And that's what I'm paying him to do. And he hasn't got there enough. So to bounce back, he needs to have 4 or 5 sacks in the second half. Can I believe he can reach them numbers sack-wise? Yeah, I think he can. I think he can end the year around 6 or 7 sacks. That's where he should be. And if this front's what we thought it would be. But no, I mean, yeah, you're right. Jay Couch says if Barnett doesn't have at least 9 sacks by the end of the season, no way we pay him $10 million next year. No way we can afford to either, right? Like he had to outproduce his numbers to get that kind of money from us. Around the league, he probably get it. From us, he has to because we're cap strapped. So to me, no shot. No shot he gets the 9. And Robert Corden says Vinny needs to step up also. Yeah, Vinny's been non-existent, which we sort of expected. Josh West played well in that role as your backup guy there. But can he get the 4 or 5 more sacks, guys? Which isn't anything crazy for a DN, and especially for a freaking DN that was drafted in the top freaking 15. The top 15. I mean, how many goddamn misses can we have? And listen, I give him all credit in the world for 2017. I said it a million times. Okay? I feel like I got to segue everything when I rip a guy by saying, hey, appreciate 2017. But never lived up to the player, man. He hasn't lived up to the player. So Derek Barnett will bounce back second half of the season. I'm going to agree. Because if he wants to get paid somewhere, he better. What do you guys say? Family, what do you say?
Yeah, I think with me, I'm going to disagree. And Prism hit it right on the head. At least we're on the same wavelength as to where, like, he is what he is. He has a high motor. He might stop a couple runs here and there. He gets an occasional sack every now and again, but it's nothing that really wows you. And like when you draft a guy in the top 15, it's not what you expect. But again, I mean, at this point, he is what he is.
Jake, if I told you this, right?
Yes.
If I just hit you with this, right? I'm not Mr. Stats. But sometimes for these kind of conversations, you bring them in. You just put them on the table and you see how people like them. Okay? 5 sacks in 2017, which is his rookie year.
Solid.
Solid for a rookie guy.
Yep.
2.5 in 2018. 6.5 in 2019. 3.5 right now. So 5 more. Obviously, 3 more or 3.5 more, give him his highest sack total over his career.
Mm-hmm.
If you really think about it, if he doubles his production in the first half, he has the most sacks he's had in his career at 7. At 7 for a top 15 pick. That would be his most. The most sacks he had is 6.5, and it was last year, which is an uptick, right? We look for guys to get better. That's actually better than where he was. Yep. So now he's at 3.5, which is on pace to be better than where he's been. So to us, it's like it's not good enough because that's not a top 15 pick. But if he can end the year with 8 or 9 sacks, man, it's hard not to bring him back then, right? You know what I mean? Like if he has like 5 sacks in the second half, which isn't crazy to say, I mean that's a good year for DNs in this league.
Well,
it's that, and that's the guy saying, oh, maybe he's coming into his own, maybe he's not. But I'll agree, he bounces back, and bounce back means he'll have 5 sacks, which is the most production he's ever had in a half of football of his career. Right? What do you say?
Well,
I did it. You did it. Enjoy yourselves.
Get out of my head. Get out of my head. Get out of my head. Well, number one, the stat you just brought up, it's actually funny because it perfectly sums up what I think we've always said about him, to where it's a good season and a down season. Good season and a down season. It's the lack of consistency that's killed him. Nobody's questioned his talent.
No, but if you look at it, if you look at last year coming into this year, that's consistent. It's his most sacks of his career last year, and he's on pace to break that this year. That's almost like trending to be consistent, like, which is crazy to say, but that's almost trending to be consistent. That's nuts. Sorry, go ahead.
But I would say disagree just based off of this, and I don't even think it's that much of a hot take at this point, just given the horrible cap situation that we're going to have going forward. But like we talked about, and I wasn't even somebody, and to Tom, to your point, Jake, people in the comments talking about him trying to and having to prove to us that he was a top 15 pick. I wasn't even there. My, I guess, expectations or my goal for him was just to show that, hey, he's just played like a second round pick that had a great stretch in 2017 to where he had an awesome playoff performance in all the playoff games, especially in the NFC title game. And obviously we know that play in the Super Bowl to where, okay, you can look at the first 5 years of Derek Barnett and say, okay, well, he's been, inconsistent a couple years. He's had a good latter part of his contract, had a really good rookie year with some big moments. So mostly he's played like a second, third round pick, but he's had great moments. Okay, I can live with that. You know what I'm saying? Because he was able to rise to the occasion in the big moments. But looking forward, and like we kind of talked about on Wednesday, to where him and Josh Sweat have kind of been twins pretty much, as far as they both flash signs. But I think given the contract situation, and I'm not saying you would even have to pay him $10 million, or no, you would have to because you had to pick up his option. Just letting him go and bringing in Josh Sweat, who's shown signs in very limited situations that he can be either as good as Derek Barnett or better. I think that's kind of what they're thinking. And it's tough because obviously we know the coordinator, Jim Schwartz, he loves Derek Barnett. That's a big reason why they didn't go out and get a Jadeveon Clowney, for example, and a lot of other guys that were available in free agency this past offseason. But like we talk about, man, Derek Barnett, his entire career, and he can prove us all wrong and prove me wrong in the second half. He's shown that he's pretty much just a guy who's a really good rotational piece in a front 8 system. He's not somebody that you can trust to be, a 3-down defensive end that's going to go out and be consistent every game and kind of be that anchor. Can he do that in the latter part? Absolutely, but I'm really not crossing my fingers.
And right, can I tell you this too?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you this, though, the way we talk about getting younger and it being a Howie pick, they probably do pick up the $10 million option because he is a younger player, and if he does have the production of 8 sacks this year, hypothetically, to most of his career, they probably are picking that up. You know what I mean? They're probably picking it up, and they're just they're losing. They're going to take hits other places. You know what I mean? Because he is younger. But I mean, he's never lived up to the pick he's supposed to be. But it doesn't mean like a big second half doesn't sort of put him in the direction of a guy starting to figure it out as he's coming into the prime years of his career, right? You know what I mean? So it's like it's not over for the guy. And if he beats last year's sack production, that's signs of trending forward. So that's what I think of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Great, Jake. You what? Disagreed?
Disagreed, yeah.
See, people, that's why I want to agree there. You just know. You just knew other guys were going to go disagree. It's an easy disagreeer. You know what I mean? And it's like, it doesn't, that's almost the one Andy should have said, well, disagree because his stats, his stats are going to be better.
He is what he is. He is what he is.
If you stay on, you stay on the defense side of football, it's hard outside of like linemen. You know what I mean? They say bounce back. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, because people were asking about Jalen Mills, like, is he gonna is he gonna bounce back? But to me, like we were kind of talking about on Wednesday, obviously, if he was a pro or con so far. Given the situation where they've asked him to play, 3 different positions at times, is he a guy that really fits the narrative? I mean, clearly he needs to play better. I'm not saying that he's somebody who, has played awesome for us, but I don't know if he really fits the role of somebody who needs to bounce back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like the bounce back. Yeah. I mean, the whole defense on the back end can bounce back to get more takeaways, right?
Yeah.
That's the bounce back we got to look for that side of the football. So for the offensive side of the football, this one's fun. We'll go Miles Sanders because, I mean, when he's played, he's been good, right, for the most part. But he hasn't been on the field either. So bounce back would be playing when he comes back, not going back out again. That would be the bounce back we look for Miles Sanders. So do you agree or disagree that Miles Sanders, when he comes back, will finish the season and be healthy and be productive? Agree or disagree?
I hate to look into it too much, but we've kind of alluded to it. And I completely acknowledge that Doug Peterson, like we said earlier in the show and many times, he doesn't run the ball as much as he does in the second half. Mm-hmm. But I think we would all agree, us in here and the fam at home, that they haven't really shown to fully trust him, Miles Sanders, that is, which is strange for 2 reasons. Well, for a lot of reasons, but 2 main reasons. Number one, it's because we go back to this offseason, they say, there's no real need to bring in any other running backs because we're very comfortable with Miles Sanders as our guy, our bell cow, and obviously everyone surrounding him, Clement and Scott. And 2, you hear Doug Peterson talk about all the time, even during the season when he was available, about getting him involved in the long-term passing offense, not just these little things out of the backfield, but in roles that we saw last year, which he thrived in. And we've seen moments, and unfortunately moments have really resulted in Miles Sanders dropping wide-open touchdown passes. But I think it's strange that when he's been on the field, and whether it's been health or I don't really know the reason, but they really haven't shown to fully trust him. It seems like the trust factor has gone backwards when they've been talking about giving him more to work with and him having a bigger role. But I have to go agree because, number one, one of my predictions before the season was that he was going to break LaShawn McCoy's rushing record or all-purpose yard record, which, I mean, that's not going to happen at this point unless he goes crazy in the second half. But I'm just going to go agree because he needs to, for the sake of this entire offense and this quarterback. They have to give different looks to this offense and kind of replicate what they did in the latter parts of last year.
Yeah, and right. The only thing I agree with everything you said on Miles to a point though. Like, I don't think they don't trust him. I said to Chuck's last night, like, I think it's more of an endurance thing and a stamina thing because he was coming back from injuries and he wasn't fully healthy the whole time. From Jump Street to before we started the year, he wasn't healthy. Right before we started the year. And all their trustings came before that. Like, all their talk about trusting Miles came before that. You know what I mean? And then he gets banged up and the stamina is not there. Some of the health isn't there. I think that goes to part of why they haven't trusted him as much and why they've thrown at an alarming rate of 61 goddamn percent. You know what I mean? So you throw at a 61% rate. I mean, that's concerning. And part of that is, well, I haven't had a healthy running back here. My bell cow hasn't been healthy. That becomes an indictment on upstairs and what you have after that. But that's a main part of why I think, to your question on why you think, why you really don't know if it's one or the other, it's pretty clear because the running back even said it the one game. Like, yeah, I just, I almost could feel it in my legs. Where I wasn't, where the stamina wasn't fully back yet.
Does that, not to change the subject too much, but does that worry you going forward? Like,
Injuries?
yeah, just the stamina, because that to me goes back to, do I trust in him as a fan? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I've never been like he's Saquon, like some people think.
Yeah, no.
I've always been.
so you would trade him for DeAndre Hopkins, Tom? Just clarifying, you would trade him for
I
that?
would have traded him. I would have traded him for any injury.
Yeah.
I would have traded him back then. I love you. Bye. I love you though, but I gotta do what I gotta do here. But do I think he's explosive? Absolutely. Do I think he's a big play guy? Absolutely. Do I think he's we're not gonna go off on this. Do I think he talked too soon? Absolutely. And I think it's coming and it bit him in the ass a little bit this year. It's fine. Not everybody remembers. I remember. I'm like a fucking elephant. So I remember everything. But that's fine. I love confidence too. So I'm not gonna crush a guy anymore for it. But I need you to get back on the field and I need you to be 100%. So he's gonna come back, right? And I'm gonna paint you a picture. He's not gonna be 100%. And he's not gonna get workload late in games early on. And we're all gonna be the fan base like, well, you're not using Miles. Well, I'm telling you, it's just the way it is. But do I think he bounces back? Yeah, because I think he'll finish the season hopefully, and that's where I bounce back with him the most. Because I think if he's on the field, he brings you that dynamic of a home run threat, which this offense needs dramatically. Jake?
Yeah, no, I agree with the poll. I think he definitely has a bounce back second half of the season, but it's just a matter of the injuries, right? Because ever since he's been in the league, it's always been it's been nothing major. I mean, the knee earlier in the season was a little concerning. It worried all of us a little bit, but ever since he's come in the league, it's like little injuries here. It's a shoulder, it's a quad, it's a hamstring. It's always like little tiny soft tissue injuries that always linger. They always linger, no matter who you are. They always linger throughout the season. But when he was quote unquote healthy, when he was playing, he was on pace to have not one of his best years, but he was a top back in the league when he was healthy, as far as rush yards go. So it's just a matter of if he can continue to build off of that and just kind of to what you said earlier, Tom, just to kind of give him new looks to the offense, or Rye said it, I'm sorry, to just add new looks and new wrinkles to the offense to where it kind of takes pressure off of Wentz. Now, again, it's also incumbent on if Wentz can step up as well, but it's just a factor to where you need to also, I think, leading to his quote unquote fatigue issues that he's been having, at least when he was playing. You got to utilize Boston Scott a little more. Now it looks like he can play a little bit, not just against the Giants, but again, who knows? But yeah, no, I definitely agree. I definitely think Miles will definitely bounce back. Hopefully.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's funny because he's up in the league in rushing at that point because of all the home runs.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot left. There was balls that Carson missed them on. There was balls he dropped. You know what I mean? So there was stuff left on the field. So when people are like, well, he hasn't got the ball enough. Well, he was getting opportunities. You know what I mean? It's just when you're not on the field for a period of time like he's been, when you haven't been on the field, we start to think, oh, man, because he hasn't been on the field, we forget that he was getting opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Our
quarterback missed some. He missed some. So they've been there. So I can't be overly critical of Doug of not using him properly. I think they have. The only thing I would say is more screens, but it feels like when you have a banged up offensive line, they run away from the screen game. You know what I mean? And it almost makes sense to me a little bit because that's such a timing thing and et cetera. But I don't know. know.
We have a handful of questions real quick that are interesting. So this is clearly a Cowboys fan. He says, do you guys think the Cowboys are going to draft a quarterback? And it's funny because a couple of people asked me that, earlier in the week, and I'll give them the same response I did. And a lot of people were calling me crazy for it. I say no, honestly, because, and people were like, oh, well, they're going to have a top 5 pick. They might have, a top 3 pick, and it's almost kind of how can they not type of a thing. Well, I think Jake, Tom, I think the people at home would agree that there's going to be a lot of teams trying to get up for, those top 5 picks for the quarterbacks. I think, honestly, and this is obviously if Dak Prescott, and it looks like he's going to make a full recovery, obviously, because we haven't heard any reports, and we've seen everything, kind of going to that. I think it would help the Cowboys more, both short-term and long-term, for them to get Prescott back, you're going to get him on a cheaper deal now. He's coming off of an injury. He's not going to be commanding top money. And using those assets that you get from
franchise him again or no? Or they already do it?
Technically, yes, because you can. I think you can franchise him up to 3 times, I believe.
Yeah, because I think Kirk Cousins, when he was with Washington, I think he got it twice at least.
Yeah,
so.
They could franchise him again. Right? Go ahead. But I just wanted to add that in. Could just franchise him, and it makes your point even more valid on where you're going with this. So they could franchise him. So go ahead.
And then use those assets. I mean, you're going to get a freaking boatload. Say, for example, they have the number 2 overall pick. You're going to get a friggin' king's ransom for that 2nd overall pick, and you can use it for offensive line help. You can use it for defensive help. You have to rebuild that entire defensive line. You have to rebuild the secondary. You have to rebuild the offensive line.
Yeah, you know who makes the decisions there, though?
Right, exactly.
And the guy decisions loves 5-star talent, right?
Yep.
There ain't no fucking shot in hell that egotistical son of a bitch trades out of a 2 spot, because they'll just draft the best player on the board, like he tries to do a lot of the times, and it could shock anybody. Like it could be any, you know what I mean? He'd probably go for like defense, and probably draft the best defensive player, in this year's draft. But regardless, he's such an egotistical son of a bitch. He wouldn't make his football team better. He would, because you get a great player, but he wouldn't think like Rye's thinking, where like, you know what, I could just accumulate a ton of assets and get better this way too. He won't think like that. That's just how he operates.
Oh, here you go. And Caden's she's commented a lot about Cowboys in the past in here. She said word here is if Dak isn't back tagged, him and trade him, draft a quarterback, otherwise trade back. Okay. Well, there you go. And like you have another question here, and it says, it's Lord Walker, and he says, can we just address the issue that we haven't replaced since our Super Bowl year, and that is replacing the running back we had in Blunt with a power back? And I think that goes back to what Tom says, Jake says, I say all the time. It's mismanagement of a roster. It's Howie Roseman not realizing what's most important. And it sounds crazy because it's like, okay, you're watching the same football games as us, right? But I mean, how many times did you hear Tom say, and we all said it on all the shows, that it's common sense. You don't have to go out and, spend a 1st-round pick on a guy, or you don't have to give guys top money. There are guys out there, freaking Leonard Fournette, Adrian Peterson, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. They did it last year. I mean, it just didn't work out because the guy was banged up all year.
Yeah.
Right? But they went out and did it. They brought in Jordan Howard. They brought in the power back to complement him, and our offense was dangerous when both of them were on the field.
Great. He single-handedly won that Green Bay Packers game for us in Lambeau.
Yep. Well, both of them. I mean, like when him and Miles were on the field, our offense was dangerous, and that's all anybody needs to know.
Yep, I agree.
It's a great question, Lord, but we just came into this year fucking smoke and mirrors, like that. We had the greatest freaking bell cow in the history of bell cows. Like we had Adrian Peterson in his prime. Like, yeah, we don't need anybody else behind him. We're good. We're good. Yeah, we're good. We blow our own guys. You know what I mean? When it's like, yeah, we got an explosive back, a playmaker, a kid we all really love, but we can't like expect him to be that yet. You know what I mean? We got to give him some time to grow too.
Don says, I wonder how many Super Bowls the Eagles would win if the fans control the GM. Well, it depends on which fans, because while I think we're smart fans, I think there's a lot of idiot fans in this city. So
this panel right here just did picks, right? And we did our picks, and we did our free agency, and we handled our cap. We over this span, I would have us 3 Super Bowls. All right, I'd have 3 because we'd be running the freaking football a ton, and whatever after, because I would have got one in 2018. I would have got one in 2018, and I would have got, because I would have went all in again to win it again, and I just would have won with Nick again. I don't give a shit. And if Carson got hurt, and then in 2019, I would, you know what I mean? I would have made some adjustments. I would have made some adjustments to make this football team better on the fly, and them adjustments weren't made. If I just draft DK in the 2nd round, right, in that spot, like this football team's 100 times better than it is right now. Like that's one pick. That's one pick and one player, and this football team's way better. So I mean, it's all it is. It's just like, hey, hit on a playmaker once in a while. That actually will stay healthy too.
Well, that's it. Listen, I mean, we always talk about it, we joke about it with the reports coming out from Jeff McClain that, the real reason why DK wasn't drafted here, it's because he failed the physical with our medical staff. that should give Howie Roseman even more indication. Oh, he failed your physical, but no other physical anywhere else in the league? Oh, okay. Well, then I'm definitely drafting him. Because if you guys, your medical staff says something's wrong, that means there's nothing wrong at all. That means there's nothing.
Can I just say something to you guys for a second?
Yeah.
Back on. What? An eye test. Hey, eyeballs. Guy walks in the room. You're failing that dude for a physical? Who the fuck is failing that dude for a physical when he walks in the room? Who's the jackass? Because that jackass needs to get fired on the spot. Who are you little peewee? Little munchkin man. Who are you failing that dude for a physical? Who the frig are you? Who are you? Please clip this because I want that dude fired.
I already got it.
Immediately. That dude has no right evaluating anybody for physicals. And that dude shouldn't be touching nobody, you know what I mean? Getting underneath and coughing. That dude, it should never happen with that dude ever again. Like, who? You failed who? You failed DK Metcalf? You failed him for a physical? Who the frick are you? Who? Like, that guy walks in the room and that's a pass. Like, I don't even got to touch nothing. You know what I mean? We don't even got to get nothing out. There's nothing got to come out. It's the easiest physical in the century of physicals, right? It's like,
he's good.
He's good. Exactly. You're good.
Good.
Yo, we good here. Somebody get Howie on the phone. You know what I mean? Like, I can't run to him quick enough and be like, yo, you better draft this guy. You know what I mean? Howie, you look at this guy? Well, how'd the physical go? How'd the physical go? We didn't even run it. That's how it went.
Yeah.
This guy, this guy's better shape than our whole roster.
He ran our physicals. He did ours. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have catch.
He told me to cough, so I just started coughing. You know what I mean? He said, yeah.
I love that too, Dante, because we heard that all the time too. Guys, he can't run routes. He ran freaking circles around that 49ers defense the last week. He was like, oh, you're going to come after me? Oh, I'm going this way. I'm going this way.
He only runs go routes. He only runs the –
Yeah, can I tell you what routes mean? When you're just a physical specimen, your routes don't mean shit because you just are open.
Exactly.
You understand? There's a difference from a small guy having to run great routes to get open and a physical specimen running routes and getting open. It's a big difference. Like, T.O. didn't need to be the best route runner. He's a big specimen, and he was fast, right? So, like, if you're just explosive and fast, it's going to make your routes look better at a young age too. So this is a 101 too. So whoever failed him should never touch anything in his life, all right? And shouldn't be allowed to touch his wife. And I don't do that.
I'll just
touch her. Not even a little like grab at night, right? You're done physicals.
Well, I'll just show you real quick what we just posted on our social medias, and this perfectly sums it up. You know what I'm saying? Can you guys see that? Ref, heads or tails, DK Metcalf. It's our ball. Okay, sounds good. Like, come on. Like, you're failing that guy. You're failing that guy. What are we doing?
Like, if I tell that guy to take his shirt off, and it's like, it's shirt off city. You know what I mean? It's like all right, shirt off. Oh shit, you passed. What up,
well,
baby?
If you look back,
I get you some food. Can I get you anything?
Yeah, if you look back during during the whole draft process when he did the meetings with the Seahawks, DK Metcalf walks in the room with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll sees DK shirts off. He's like, "Oh shit, okay." He's like, "Oh, all right."
He caused another grown man to take off his own damn shirt in his own office.
Yeah,
I mean, if that's not winning, I don't know what is. I don't know what is.
Listen, you pass on a guy that's 6'4", probably 6'5" with cleats on, 235, who runs a 4.33. That doesn't happen. That's not normal.
Meanwhile,
that's not normal.
Meanwhile, we drafted a guy that can't get off the line of scrimmage and is known for a damn umbrella. When you talk about, what do you think of when you think of JJ? Think of Whiteside. Slow as hell, stinks in an umbrella. Probably holes in that umbrella too. Probably can't even shield himself from the rain.
I'll tell you something else too. Yeah. Like, there's a little pregame speech the other night.
Yeah, what is he doing speaking? I mean, no disrespect. What are you doing?
I saw that.
What could you possibly tell me as a player?
No, what I would say to that is that some guys don't have to be great on the field and they can be great locker room motivators. All right. It happens. It happens around all sports. That some guys are just role players and they become and they're just fucking great motivators for guys. It happens, right? He's not one of them. All right, he's not one of them. If you listen to that, and then if DK did a little pump up video, who the F are you drafting? I feel like this guy doesn't watch anything. I feel like his talent evaluators are the worst in football. We have the worst
Mhm.
talent. It's like this in every sport. Like outside of the Sixers, because we actually have like some superstars, right? We feel like, or
Thank
potential
God.
for the most part. But even us, draft wise, you bring up Markelle Fultz. I just feel like we have the worst luck, or just the worst guys in charge at the worst times.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And it's like, how do you outthink yourself? And a lot of other teams did it. Don't get me wrong. A lot of other teams passed on DK Metcalf.
Mhm.
And the New England Patriots and the smartest guy in the room, Bill Belichick, did too. But come on, guys. In the second round for a Stanford guy, like now we're trying to have everybody over for Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, he's such a great guy. I mean, look at his mom, great family guy. Fuck it all. I want guys who get open and are dogs.
These comments are hysterical. Don says Howie saw the Andre Dillard physical and was like, "Yep, he's the one." You got Prism. 2 money comments from Prism. He starts out by saying, "Tom, whoever failed him didn't give DK a physical. They tried to put DK on the casting couch, and DK said no."
No.
And then he follows up by saying, "JJ,
Howie needed more. Sorry, Howie needed more.
Yeah, exactly."
Hey,
And
a little more, babe.
And Prism follows up by saying JJ was telling all them in the pregame huddle how to find the best SPF for their skin. Yeah. And the next damn umbrella.
Oh, my God. He's talking about the best creams. You know what I mean? He's talking about the best hair stuff. You know what I mean? Best facial stuff.
And this is actually Pop Montanez on the YouTube. What's up, Pop? He says the number of guys we passed up on Kamara, DK, Queen, Jefferson, just to name a few. Can you imagine how we would look right now with our current roster with these guys? Pop, imagine if we had one of them. Just pick one of them.
Pop, let me just give you this. If we drafted DK and Patrick Queen, we're loaded.
Dynasty.
Yep. We don't even have to go there. Right? I love your confidence. You know what I mean? But like, even if we don't go there, we have 2 young stud players, and we feel like we're going in the right direction compared to what we are now, trying to outthink everybody. And that's what bad organizations do, and that's what bad general managers do. And the guy on my picture right here, Howie Roseman, has been flat out atrocious. And I'm tired of even talking about this crump. And I'm tired of it. And the fact that you do nothing at the deadline sums up 2020. Not that you need to make a move that you didn't even sell either. You just did nothing. Like, you didn't even sell either. You just we're going to stand pat. Okay. All right. Like, you're a joke of an organization. Listen, thank Jefferson. Fine. We wouldn't even have to be talking about Jefferson and Jalen if we drafted DK and Patrick Queen, right? We wouldn't even have to be having this conversation. So this year should be irrelevant. That should have happened last year. We should have got that impact player. But we didn't. We reached for freaking Pac-12 shit. This whole freaking city's been burned by the Pac-12. Pac-12 in the way they baby. Everybody's got the mother in a picture of the Pac-12. You know what I mean? Bolt is in Christmas gear. You know what I mean? Under a tree. Like, probably don't post that, babe. You know what I mean? You're an NBA player. And the other guy's got rain jackets and freaking umbrellas.
I swear to God, we got screwed by Washington University like back-to-back years because because Dillard's from Washington, right? Dillard? Andre Dillard?
No.
I'm 99% sure he was. Like, I mean, that's two. That's 2 guys. One of them, he disappeared, and the other guy's crying. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
I'm 99% sure he was a Washington guy.
No, he might have been Washington.
He went to Washington State.
Different one, but still.
Different one, but
close
still Washington.
Semantics.
Listen, he's out there. It doesn't matter. But listen, we don't know if that's a miss, but it assumes that's a miss too. Because everything is assumed a miss. And what people don't understand me.
Sidney Jones. That was it.
Washington, but Sidney Jones can play though. That's the difference maker.
Yeah.
This is the one we give up too early. So that's how it works here, right? We're just wrong on everything we do. So like we feel wrong on the pick. He can't play. All right, we're gonna move on from him. Now he can play. You know what I mean? And it's just like it's an ongoing cycle of just missing one way or the other. And Patrick says how he needs to go. Listen, I was yelling about it on draft night. And people like Jalen Reagor, and I don't dislike him. Right? I don't dislike him. But with Patrick Queen on the board, I'm a jackass and not take him. And I know my quarterback needs weapons. And I say, listen, I drafted a wide receiver in the second round last year. He's supposed to be able to play. You know what I mean? Like I gotta go get a linebacker for my defense. That's such a glaring weakness. And the fact that you don't do that after the run of wide receivers went and say, you know what, I'll wait a second. You know what I mean? I'll wait a minute. Maybe I'll pick one up in the second round. But right now, I'm going to go best player on the board. And no disrespect to Jalen Reagor at all. He was not the best player on the board at that point. At that point, Patrick Queen was the best overall player on the board. And if anybody would tell me otherwise, I would suggest maybe watching a little bit more of the SEC. That's all. That's all. Best player on the board, hands down, at that pick, at that point. There was nobody better on the board. Justin Jefferson, I love Justin Jefferson, wasn't better than Patrick Queen.
Nope.
And it filled a need. So it was like the double win, the easy pick, and you get freaking cute. And you go gadgety, and you just never really, you address it, but you don't. You know what I mean? And that's no shot at Jalen, because I think he can play. But it's like you have such a, like, okay, maybe TJ Edwards can play. Whoop-de fucking do that. If he can play, then we're all wrong. All right? But he's not Patrick Queen.
No.
All right? Jake's an LSU guy, and the guy was all over the goddamn football field.
Yep.
All over a football field in the best conference in college football. But we go over to the freaking Big Ten. This is freaking Clue. Somebody buy a Clue up in this piece. Like, God, watch a little football. Oh, look at that. He looks good. And then you can't even say he looks good in shorts and a tee, because the guy who looked good in shorts and a tee failed the physical. So nobody looks good in shorts and a tee. I can't even say that anymore. So I don't know what they look for. Besides, like, I feel like it's Wonderlick City. You know what I mean? I feel like it's Wonderlick City. Like, if you don't do good in your Wonderlick, we're out on you. I would fire you immediately for that. Like, when outside of my quarterback, I don't give a shit. You don't got to be the smartest guy in the world. You got to go hit somebody. Can you cover? Can you make plays? Do you understand defenses? Do you understand offenses when you're playing defense, right? That's all that matters. What's your football IQ?
Red Sands, and this is a perfect segue because it goes right into, and believe it or not, he's actually number 2 on the board for me behind Malik Jackson on players I think are going to step up in the second half. He says, can we show some love to our 5th-round draft pick, John Hightower, despite a few drops and rookie mental mistakes? This kid has a nice route tree, great game speed, and consistently gets open. And that's why, listen, am I saying he's going to be Travis Fulgham in the second half? No. Do I think he's going to be friggin' Henry Ruggs in the second half? No. But like we talk about every week, he gets a little bit better, and he consistently is open.
Yep.
So I think this bye week, and I think going forward, especially now that he's going to be getting even more, consistent playing time because Deshaun's out. He's not coming back. To where I think with him and Reagor feeding off each other as far as speed, and please God, maybe they can actually have some common sense and get Hightower involved in the return game and not put a 33, 32-year-old Deshaun Jackson back there. Yep. I think that he is going to find that consistency, and those balls that he is consistently open for, he's going to start catching them in a consistent basis. I'm not saying he's going to go, 2 for 90 every week, but I think at the end of the season he can end up with 4, 5, 6 touchdowns. To be honest,
listen, I don't know about that or any of it, but I'll tell you this: like, for a 5th rounder, we'll put some respect on it. But again, it's another. Okay, it brings a dynamic because he's a home run guy, right? But it still doesn't give the dynamic of the full route tree. Like, he's not a great route runner per se. He's good at getting open deep, and I'll take it, especially for a 5th rounder. Like, if that's his skill set the rest of his career, and he can just beat guys deep and gets open, I'll take that. That's a win for a 5th round pick. Absolutely a win. If he gets 4 or 5 touchdowns a year because he just takes the top off of people, fine. As long as I got guys that can go across the middle and aren't scared. I got one guy that I know can go across the middle. Greg Ward dropped the big ball the other night across the middle. And I don't know enough about Jalen. It doesn't seem like he'd be a guy that's scared to go across the middle. You know what I mean? So I can't say he's not. Robert, I'm not sure when Zach's coming back. I feel like he's got a.
It's going to be a while, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like he's got some time here.
Probably like week 12, I'm thinking.
I know.
I would probably guess, because especially with Dallas back, I'd probably say, first week is December if I had to guess.
Yeah. And I'll tell you another thing though. Like, it might be you might get Lane back after the bye. Miles, maybe not. You might not get him back till Cleveland. Dallas will be more of 100%.
Should we mention that guy's name? That guy? To whom should not be named?
Who?
Mr. Calf injury, Mr. walking into the building and gets
oh God,
shockingly injured.
What, and coming back this week?
any week at this point. Any week. I mean, all the reports say, oh, the Eagles held him off until after the bye. It's a somebody say, like one of the NBC Philly guys, they said, oh, it's a lock against the Giants. I'm like, really? It's a lock now?
Listen, I'll believe it's a lock when he's on the outside in the game, and the announcer's like, look who's playing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, wow, okay, cool. You know what I mean? And until that time, I mean, I'm not going to believe he's playing. You know, I would love to have him back because, I mean, I'm not turning down anything on offense. Who the hell am I to turn down anything on offense? You know what I mean? I'm not here to turn down shit. So, like, if they think he can play, fine. He wants to come back and play, you know, come back and play. Jay, I don't disagree with you that he's a little bitch. You know what I mean? Uncle Softy. You know, it's like Mr. Softy. You guys hungry? You guys want anything? A little dessert? A little dessert on Uncle Alshon? I mean, come on. You know? So I don't know, guys. I'll just say this. Lord, you're right, Lord. Antonio Brown was talking about himself being a 6th-round pick. Wide receivers going to come in. Yeah. Yep. Wide receivers going to come in and be impactful no matter where they're drafted. But again, who does that go to? That goes to the guy drafting them. And Travis Fulgham can be the freaking next whoever people want him to be. And I'll never give an ounce of credit to Howie Roseman.
No, he shouldn't get it. He
Never
shouldn't
give an ounce of credit to Uncle Crumb Brûlée because that just fell in the lap. That's not good player assessments. That's just like praying and you got lucky.
Tom, you brought up, and thank you for saying that, because all these articles that are coming out, and there's a ton during the bye week that are saying, oh, Howie Roseman should get credit. Absolutely freaking not. And this is not because we're being bitter towards Howie Roseman. It's common sense. Think about it. Number one, the first reason why he should not be getting credit is because don't you think it's odd that the one guy in this entire class, the entire core, beside Greg Ward, who they sat on for 3 years, and who's a former quarterback, by the way, the one guy who he didn't draft can play. The one guy. Two, we know that Howie Roseman has no say in his practice squad, and he has no say on the guys coming up and pushing for a guy to come up, because we've seen it. They've held on they held on Greg Ward for 3 years. And then they were going to freaking Shelton Gibsons and Jordan Matthews before they went to him. You saw it with Boston Scott. It's like, Jesus, the practice squad, whoever's running that, the scouts down there, that's the scouting department. They're succeeding despite Howie Roseman. You know what I'm saying? They went to Travis Fulgham not because Howie Roseman. It's because it was Deontay Burnett, and there was only, and this is factual, the only other guy on the roster that was available practice squad or full active roster was Travis Fulgham. Howie Roseman was forced to put him in. And you know what he did? He succeeded despite Howie Roseman. So he's not getting credit because this guy, A, didn't draft him. B, probably held him out for too long. And it's a consistent rate with Scott and Ward and so many others.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Prism, that's a great one, though. I'm not here to turn down shit. Tom 2020, also every junkie ever. That's a great joke. I love that joke. I was laughing. No, I'm not going to rip you. No rip. I love it. That's a great one. I'm not here to turn down shit. I mean, the guy wants to come back and he can play. Fine, I'll take him until he's out again. You know what I mean? Who am I to say I don't want shit back offensively? You know what I mean?
Especially when we know he has chemistry with our quarterback. It's somewhere down there. It's been a couple of years, but it's there. We saw it.
Yeah, and Tank says, TJ Edwards was an undrafted guy. But guess what, Tank? You know what the crazy thing about all this is? Is that if you hit on your picks and you hit on some of these undrafted guys, then you're loaded, right? But the fact that you miss on all these picks is why you're 3-4-1.
Yep.
If you didn't miss on 2 picks, I'll guarantee the public we're not 3-4-1. Are we 3-4-1 with Patrick Queen and let's go DK? Are we 3-4-1?
No.
God, division might already be done. We might have already clinched.
Are we 3-4-1? We got Kamara and Patrick.
No.
Oh. No,
Kamara's the MVP of the Saints right now.
I'm just asking for the people. I'm just asking on misses. You know, and there's plenty more to go around. Anybody but Andre Dillard in the first round? Like anybody that could play in that draft besides Andre Dillard in the first round at any position would be a win for this football team.
Catch 22 to that. He might get beat up by a guy who never played football before.
And you know what the defenders do, Jake? Jake, you know what they do? You know what the defenders say?
What?
You know, at this point, they say, well, Tom, you're not going to hit on every pick. I didn't just hit on every pick. I just told you a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can tell me you hit on Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders, etc. But I need consistency and being on the field out of them guys before they're hits. They look like hits. They smell like hits, right? Mm-hmm. But when you're not on the field, it's hard for me to be stamping you hit right now. I believe they're really good players. But there's still been so many misses that them two guys don't make up for it.
Nope.
Even though we all believe them two guys can play. You know what I mean? So there's so many other misses. Derek Barnett or anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, you can keep all the other stuff consistent on what they drafted. And I'm telling you, two guys. I can just tell you, guys, Patrick Queen alone makes his team better than a 3-4-1 team because they've gotten gassy situations where he can help you out there. Mm-hmm. All right? The end of rounds, etc. The running game as a whole, they're better than 3-4-1. And that's just one player. DK Metcalf better than 3. So offensively, who else would need to bounce back here? Who else? You know, I mean, everybody, and then bounce back from what? Like Alshon Jeffrey. So to that question, does he bounce back? Does he play? Does he play? Yeah, agree or disagree? Does Alshon Jeffrey plays in the second half? Agree or disagree?
I'll say agree, just because for the cap hit alone, you're paying this dude. I think it's guaranteed this year too.
Yes.
Okay. So it's like it's like 14.5 million, if I'm correct. I think it's somewhere around there. I know it's double digits, but it's just going to be out of spite, pretty much. Be like, well, I did pay this guy, so. And it's one of these things to where I kind of connect it to the Jordan Mailata and Jason Peters situation, to where Mailata was playing well. Yeah, he struggled, but he was showing a lot of promise. But then you just bench him for a guy who's well beyond his years in Jason Peters. But you paid him. You paid him $9.5 million. Travis Fulgham, I hope this doesn't happen, but I can see it happening because it's Howie Roseman. Travis Fulgham, hell of a story. He's playing phenomenal. He's the Eagles' number 1 wide receiver right now. And he looks like if he keeps going at this pace, he could be a legit wide receiver in this league. But Howie Roseman paid Alshon Jeffrey. He's like, oh, well, Alshon's been here forever, and he won us a Super Bowl. So if this happens, well, I'm done with Howie Roseman. I'm done.
You know, I think what happened, Jake, though, I think they probably get rid of Corey Clement.
I'm fine with that.
And make room for him. I mean, Travis ain't going to go nowhere now.
I'd hope not.
You know, there's no way. It would have to be somebody else. It would be, you know what I mean? And I don't even know who it would be. Like, I'm just trying to think of who, like, the 5th wide receiver is right now.
Well, I was going to say, and people aren't going to be happy with it. It's going to be one of 3 players: Clement, Whiteside, Watkins.
Oh.
I think it's going to be Watkins before it's Whiteside.
Oh, Quez Watkins?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See it.
You got people coming after you in the comments about 30 seconds now.
Come on, let people come after me about a guy who hasn't shown me anything yet. What are you coming after me about? Like that I'll take a healthy Alshon if he's healthy? Come on, I'm not saying if he's healthy. I'm not here to turn down shit that I know can play over a guy that come on. We need another guy who can go over top.
Exactly.
We have Hightower supposedly can go over top, and Jalen. So now we need another guy to go over top. No, I need guys who can catch footballs. I need guys who can get open in the middle of the football field. So we say whatever we want about Alshon, he at least get open, him and Fulgham in the middle of the football field.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's the one thing we can hang our hat on if he does come back. Jake, I'll agree with you too. I think he comes back. You know what I mean? I think he comes back and he plays at least 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
To finish us off here. At least 6.
Okay. It's funny
too. A little wiggle with him. Little wiggle.
Yeah, I was going to say the over-under was going to be like 5.5, so you're right on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he has to come back and play. I mean, he could easily come back and play in the pool to Sean where he's out the same game, but, I mean, we're going to see him again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a situation. I don't think it's a Michael Thomas situation where I mean, it might be because, I mean, it's very similar to where it's like, not in the reasoning, obviously, but it's like he's practicing all week and then all of a sudden he's just not playing.
I'll be honest, why? Because they tried to like sell you that he was going to come back earlier from that injury, and I don't even think anything happened to us, Cap. I think it's just he wasn't fully ready, and they just bullshitted you into thinking it was just he just hurt his calf a little bit. We're gonna be cautious. No, he's just not fully ready, and I think their idea was after the bye at some point. You know what I mean? And here we come. So it's either the Giants or it's Cleveland. If you have to play in one of them 2 games, I mean, then when are you playing? You know what I mean? Then you'd have to run the table. So you'd have to run the table for me if I have you playing 6, which you could. But I mean, I would expect you back into one of the next 2 games because that's your timetable. December was realistically the timetable for that kind of injury. Yeah, that was more the timetable, especially for an older guy. Christ, come back in September, October just wasn't realistic. So him being back November, December is around that timetable. So I could see him being back either next week or the week after. I think that puts him right where that timetable should be.
I agree. If there's not any other players, you guys want to do a quick contenders or pretenders around the league?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and fam at home play along with us, obviously. And this,
tell us if you have what do you call? I mean, if you have another player that we're missing or we missed tonight, just bring them up. We'll circle back for sure.
So, whenever we do this, people are always like, "Oh, well, contender or pretender for what?" To win a Super Bowl. Because if we said get to a Super Bowl, if you get there, you can obviously win it. So this is to win a Super Bowl, contender or pretender. So we'll start. Well, let's start in the easiest division, ours. Is there any contender?
No.
So all pretenders in that division.
Pretend City.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go to the NFC West. The Seattle Seahawks, contender or pretender?
Big time contender.
Yeah, contenders, absolutely.
I agree. The Arizona Cardinals.
Contender.
Yeah, they're contenders. Yep.
I'm not there yet. Yet.
They have to start Isaiah Simmons.
Well, I mean that might push the needle a little bit.
That'll help.
You know what it is, and I know these. It's really easy to go from being a bad team to a good team in the NFL. Way easier than the other leagues, and they really showed me a lot. Them beating Russell Wilson and the Seahawks on primetime a couple weeks ago. It's just tough to see realistically in where I think there's a lot of really, really good teams. Like, I can't see them going to the Packers and winning. I can't see them going to the.
Look at this, right? You look at when you talk about contenders, there's got to be 4, right? You talk about probably 4 teams. Maybe you can stretch a 5th one in there in a good year. But right now, 4 or 5 contenders. Yep. So they would be one of the contenders right now. Where the season ending right now, you're going into the playoffs. They're one of the contenders.
Mm-hmm.
They're one. Does it mean that they're going to beat Tampa? No, I don't know. You know what I mean? Does it mean they're going to beat Green Bay? I don't think so, but they could. So you know what I mean? It just puts them in the conversation, in my opinion.
There's 2 because I have 4 in each conference. There's 2 fringe teams. I'll just say the Cardinals are my fringe team for the NFC.
Your next one's mine.
Oh, the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams are my fringer. They're
okay.
They're fringe city because if they can get in the dance somehow, I believe that they can contend because they got a defense and they can run the football and they got all their weapons, are here. So you know what I mean? They could be a fringer. You know what I mean? They're my fringe for me.
Jake, contender or pretender for the Rams?
I'm gonna go pretender.
Same. I don't believe in the quarterback. I don't.
No, I don't either.
But the talent-wise, Tom, I agree with you. It's just if you put Joe Burrow there, I'd probably say agree. You know what I'm saying? I would say contender.
Yeah, but can I tell you another reason why the Arizona Cardinals are a big-time contender? A big-time contender, and nobody talks about because we talk about their offense all the time. They've given up 146 points total this year, right? Mm-hmm. The Seattle Seahawks have given up 199. All right? The Rams have given up 152. Okay, let's look around. The Eagles give up 205. That's atrocious. All right. Washington give up 165 in our division. Moving around. Green Bay's giving up 204. Not good, right? The Bears 166, whatever. Tampa 165. So when you circle the board, right? When you circle that board right there, only giving up 146. It is the best in the NFC. And I don't know about the rest. I'll have to just scroll. No, because the Dolphins have given up only 130. But regardless, it's the best in the NFC. So that right there just puts them in contender talk for me. I just noticed that too. And for that right there just puts them in even more solidifies a contender because they're getting it done on the defense side of the football. All the talk about their offense, they get it done defensively.
Yeah. And Kingsbury looks like a lot of people made fun of him, me included, for going to Cliff Kingsbury, a guy who didn't really do anything in college. He's proved to me so far that he can't not coach. He can definitely coach. Now, can he coach a team up to a Super Bowl? We'll see. But, that's something. I think the two glaring kind of questions for them heading into the season was obviously, is Kyler Murray going to build off of what he did? That's obviously a big yes. And two, can Cliff Kingsbury coach in this league? And that's obviously a yes as well.
Come in like this and bounce out. Come in like this and bounce out. You got to get the lighting. Until the lighting turns on. It's weird.
I can't even see it. My screen froze, so I can't. I see nothing right now.
So what I'll tell you there is there one. So I'll go Rye then. If Niners, no, right? So we can move on.
Yeah, no.
Packers, yup. Right.
Big yes.
Absolutely.
Everybody else in that division, hard no.
Yeah, sorry, Don.
Yeah, nope.
Hard no. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we all agree, contender.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Saints, where you guys stand on them?
They're my fourth. To where it was obvious I was bouncing between Cardinals and Saints for being in the bubble.
They're fringe to me. They're fringe.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Fringe to me. It's just average in terms of like we talk about. They've given up a good amount of points. Their offense hasn't scored as much as you would think it would as it would score like other teams around the NFL. They're just fringes to me. Nothing overwhelms me with them. You know what I mean? Nothing I come into a game with and I'm petrified of. You know what I mean? Without Michael Thomas. Like with Michael Thomas, I'm a little bit different. But with no Michael Thomas right now, it's hard for me to not fringe them.
I feel like even with Michael Thomas, I feel like they're a team that can win, or I'm sorry, they can lose to any team, any week. Like they're a team that can just lay an egg.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't have that consistent, and that obviously happens when the quarterback's, in his 40s. I get it. And this is Drew Brees' last year, but I'm just not feeling it. I'm not. So you know what? Because of that stat that you brought up, Tom.
Are you coming with me? Let's go.
I'm moving. And plus, because I love Kyler. I love him. He's my guy.
Let's go.
I'm moving the Cardinals in the bubble. Saints, goodbye. I hate the fans too. So, goodbye.
Granted, the Saints are the hottest team because they won 4 in a row, right? Whoop-de-doo. Okay? Whoop-de-doo. And because the Cardinals won 3 in a row, too. And they're getting it done. And they're getting it done on the other side of the football. And the Cardinals are 3-1 on the road, too. So it can't just be talked about just a home team. You know what I mean? It's just a 3-1 ball club on the road. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, you factor that into it, right, too. They can go on the road and win games. And New Orleans is 2-1 on the road. So it's not like they're bad on the road, but, we know what they are traditionally, right, guys? So that they're my 4. So my 4, we run through it again. Seahawks, Cardinals, Packers, Tampa, my 4 contenders. What do you read off your guys' 4 again? And then we'll narrow it down to our 2 best teams on who we think is midway through is going to an NFC title game.
So I have my number 1 team in the NFC is the Seahawks. My number 2 are the Buccaneers. 3 Packers. 4 Cardinals.
Jake?
That's pretty much the same with me. Mine's going to be Seahawks, Packers, Cardinals, and who should my 4th one be? So
Buccaneers. Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
Yeah, so mine's the Bucs, the Buccaneers, the Packers, Cardinals, Seahawks, right? If I had to break it down to 2, I'm going Cardinals. It's going to be surprising you guys. Surprise time, and Tampa. Both can get it done defensively. Both can score points right now. I don't trust Seattle's defense as a whole, even though they have the best middle linebacker in football. I don't trust them as a whole. That's the difference maker. That's why I got Arizona, and I don't trust Green Bay's defense. We've seen them in the playoffs get freaking shredded in the run game. I don't trust them one bit. All right, not one bit in the playoffs. Even though I love A-Rod. Even though A-Rod's a pimp, I don't trust that defense. I think they let him down again.
I think 2 times. Well, first off, that NFC title game matchup, I love our Eagles. Listen, we root for miracles, but realistically,
that's a fun one.
That's the matchup I'm rooting for. Kyler Murray and that offense against the Buccaneers and Tom Brady. When you talk about a clash of 2 different styles, holy hell. So I'm rooting.
That's fun because right, teams that are explosive offensively, but both get it done on the defense side of the football. So
and
what's
different? And it's different because we haven't seen those teams in years. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen that.
It's not even saying that the two best quarterbacks playing
No.
because Russell Wilson's a freaking pimp,
Mm-hmm.
right? Aaron Rodgers is a pimp. It's just I don't trust their defenses that get it done for them.
Yep.
And it could. I just trust these other two defenses right this minute. So I'll read off yours again. I'll go Arizona, Tampa. That's my NFC title game as of right now.
See, I agree with you on not having the Packers in there because they're setting up to be a team that's going to be plagued with injuries around Aaron Rodgers. I can already see the storyline that Aaron got to, a couple playoff victories despite his roster kind of being, blown up around him. Because as you see, the running backs are hurt. Devontae's in and out of the lineup. His offensive line's banged up now. Defense is banged up. I don't think he's going to have enough. And granted, Aaron Rodgers is awesome, and he's been playing really well. I just don't think they're going to have enough around him going up against these type of teams. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with Buccaneers, Seahawks.
Damn it, that was mine.
Because the Buccaneers, and we don't even know what Antonio Brown's going to bring them. I mean, that's kind of just like the cherry on top, which is, Bruce Arians is calling Antonio Brown the insurance policy, which, gives me nightmares just to think about, like, that's your insurance policy? Really? Mm-hmm. And our insurance policy is a guy called Blindside with an umbrella. So you look at both of those things. The Seahawks have been banged up all over. Their defense has been banged up, and they're only going to get healthier. And Tom Brady, that entire system gets better as the year progresses, and now they're going to be even healthier. So I've got Seahawks Bucks in the NFC title.
Okay, and I got Cardinals Bucks.
Nice. I'm rooting for yours, though.
Yeah, no. Jake, what do you got?
Yeah, I was going to pretty much just piggyback right off what Rye said. It's just going to be an offensive explosion with Seattle and Tom Brady. And then you'll have that storyline. Oh, it's the Super Bowl rematch. Can Russell redeem himself from that terrible interception a couple years ago? It just makes so much sense. And I think it would just be such a fun game to watch.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. And Robert, I agree with you. But we've seen Arizona do it. We know Arizona can beat them. You know what I mean? They've proved they can beat them. So, so this is a fun one. And we'll just do this one quick. Just instead of going through every team, we'll give her 4 out that are our contenders. And if we want 2 fringes, we can. Okay. So, one for me, real quick, Bills, they're a contender for me. I'm just going to skip around a little bit. Titans are my other contender. Steelers, my other contender. Chiefs, my other contender. Okay? So they're my 4. They're my 4. Because I'm not the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson to me has not been playing good football. And as of right now, they're not a contender. They're not a contender. They haven't played good enough football offensively to me. Consistently enough. Chiefs, obviously, easy one. Tennessee, yep. I know they're hit or miss, but you can run the football. You can play good defense. I know right now they're losers of 2 in a row. But still, I still think they're a good football team. They're a well-coached football team. I think they're in this mix, right? They're in this mix because they're tough. And they showed last year they're tough in the postseason, right? They showed it a little bit. Sorry, I said the Bills. I didn't mean the Bills. This one's going to shock you.
Can I guess?
Go ahead.
It's the Las Vegas Raiders.
No, it's not.
It's a Dolphins.
Oh, I thought for sure I had you.
No, not yet. They're close. They just need a better quarterback. They're close. To me, it's the Dolphins.
I knew it.
It's the Dolphins.
Chrome's going crazy down there right now.
I knew it.
It's the Dolphins. I can't believe I'm saying this. They get it done defensively. You know what I mean? They're a team that gets it done. Tre'Davious White not being with the Bills is a killer.
Yep.
It's a killer. Right? He didn't come back, right?
Mm-mm.
No, that's the killer. That's maybe the best quarterback in football you're not playing with. Mm-hmm. And they're still 6-2. Listen, if the Dolphins and Ravens played, I think the Dolphins beat them. That's simple as that. Because I don't like Lamar Jackson. I don't like him. I'm not a Lamar Jackson guy.
Yeah.
I think that shit gets beat in the playoffs, man. Mm-hmm. That shit gets beat in the playoffs when you go against good defenses. That's my opinion on it. Until he proves me wrong, I'm going to stand firm on it. So go to a Super Bowl then, babe, and you can turn me off. You know what I mean? Then you can shut me down. And I'm not saying 2 is going to a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I'm just saying I like that defense. I like what they're doing down there. They're tough. They're another tough football team. I'm talking about tough ones. I put the tough dogs in. Dolphins, Titans, right? I don't trust Phillip Rivers and the Colts. I don't trust them. No. Steelers, absolutely. No. How can you not trust them? And Chiefs, how can you not trust them? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So all the other ones are crapshoots. When you thought the only other one that people can argue with me really is the Ravens. You know what I mean? The Colts are and the Titans are like the same team. You know what I mean? For the most part, like somebody might pick them because they think they're tough, right? That they're the same team. So Buffalo is the only one that people might have in that I don't have in because again, not only do I think their defense isn't as good as it was without Tre'Davious White, I don't think their quarterbacks. It's another gadgeter to me. It's another Uncle Gadget, right? It's another gadget to me. And I'm not saying Tua isn't. I just think Tua is a better passer than the other quarterbacks I named. I just think he's a better pure passer. And their defenses are better. Like, Miami's defense right now is right there with the Ravens. I mean, they're head to head. So what's the difference? It's one guy's going to try to run around with the football. Are you good enough to stop him? So that's my little rant. And that's hey Sweepsy, Chrome. That one's for you guys.
I like it. I'm not there yet, but I like it. I like it.
Brian, you're not wrong, Brian, but I like to have a little fun here. It's too easy to go bored sometimes. So you have a little fun. Are they going to be in my AFC title game? Absolutely not. Right? Absolutely not. This could be one of the 4 teams left standing, maybe. Maybe.
You know what's tough, man? Yeah. I want to so bad.
Everybody coming high. It doesn't matter outside the Chiefs and the Steelers right now. Right now, that's all that matters. All right? Ravens aren't going to be good enough because of Uncle Gadget, and the rest is all crapshoot.
Mm-hmm.
I want to put the Raiders in here so bad.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Like, I don't hate him. I just think he's another gadget. He runs around.
Oh, what, Lamar?
No, Lamar and Josh Allen. I don't hate Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen throws the ball better than Lamar does. But I just don't trust them defensively right now. I don't trust them like I did in years past. I used to really trust the Bills defense. Like every year I pick them because I love their defense. Go ahead. What were you going to say, Ryan?
I want to so bad put the Raiders in here. I want to because I think John Green.
Yeah, that's why. They're Carstens.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like I feel like if you put no, I'm not even. I was gonna say if you put Drew Lock on here, but no, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. If you put any other serviceable quarterback, if you put Tannehill on here, if you put Tua on here, for example, because I think John Gruden's done a hell of a job. They can beat you numerous different ways. They have a ton of talent. Mm-hmm. They can defend the football. They really do a good job of controlling possessions against the clock and everything. But I just can't do it because Derek Carr. I can't do it. So from top to bottom, my 1 through 5, 5 being the fringe.
And right, I love what they put together.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like everything they put together, boys. So far, they've drafted well. They've done all them things well so far, and they really have the Raiders. And I think they're going to continue to do that. And they're right there as a team next year that can really be in this conversation, maybe. Right?
Like I want so bad for them, and my fear is they're going to be too good to get all the way down there. I want them, and I'm not a Raiders fan at all, but I want them just for the sheer entertainment of it, for them to trade up to get like a Trey Lance or a Justin Fields and put that quarterback with what they already have. Mm-hmm. That will be fun because I don't think they're going to be able to get Lawrence. That's why. So everyone's like, "Oh, you didn't say you think they're better than Lawrence?" No, but I don't see them getting to the first pick.
That's I agree. He's got to get up there somewhere and get their quarterback. Mm-hmm. But I like what they're doing over there. I do. So all right, real quick before you guys can finish off, and I'll just spit this out. The 2 teams I got going to the AFC title game at the end of the day: Steelers, Chiefs. So tell me what you guys got. Tell the people.
Okay. I've got my number 1 team in the AFC, and Don was asking earlier, when do we think the Steelers are going to lose their first game? I was looking at their schedule. It's going to be a freaking wild, to be honest. Don.
Yeah, I don't think they will. To be honest with you, I really don't think. I don't think they will.
Bill,
Who they got again? Because I think they do lose one. Who they got again?
So they've got they're home against the Steelers. They're home against the Bengals. They're not losing that game. They
play the Cowboys this Sunday.
Oh, okay, so I'm sorry. They go to the Cowboys. That's a win.
Yep.
Who's quarterbacking for the Cowboys? That the Nooch?
Garrett Gilbert.
That's fun. Okay.
Thank you for giving me a reason to say that too. I just wanted to say that on air.
Garrett Gilbert.
They're not losing to the Bengals, I don't believe. Then they're going to the Jaguars. They host the Ravens. That could be tricky.
That could be their loss.
Then they've got Washington at home. They go to the Bills. I'm going to say they lose to the Bills. I say that's their first loss on December 13th.
They got possibly 2. They can lose 2, and they might even lose 3 because 13-3 ain't nothing to put your nose up to.
I see them losing 3 because I see them resting their guys against Cleveland Week 17.
Yeah, some way they lose 3. Some way they go 13-3, which is a phenomenal year. Brian, I'll check it out, Brian. My bad. You know what I mean? Because I don't even handle that side of it. But I'll get in contact with Alex and get him your information and PhillyDrinkers.com, and I'll get you your T-shirt. I'll go check. I'll get in my DMs. I'll slide in my own here. All right. So what were your 2, Rye?
So my 2 teams in the AFC title game are Chiefs, Steelers, and my other 2 playoff contenders or Super Bowl contenders. I've got Titans and I've got Ravens. Bills is my fringe.
And I assume Ravens because of the defense, right?
Yeah, only because of the defense and because I'm a hardball guy.
Yeah, no, listen, there's nothing wrong with it.
And honestly, like I said, I don't believe in Buffalo enough to put them in there. And that's why I so badly wanted to put the Raiders, because I wanted to so badly put Raiders in and bounce the Ravens completely out.
Listen, Davius White was playing out, put the Bills in.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like it's done and done. Because then I believe in their defense more.
Jake?
And we're just talking AFC title game, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so mine would be obviously Kansas City and the Steelers. I think that's just obvious. And then my other 2 were the Titans, and just because Ryan didn't say it, I'm going to say the Raiders. I just love what they're doing down there. I really do. I love what Mike Mayock's doing down there. As soon as Mike Mayock said he was going for the GM job, I'm like, get him in here. Yeah, I just love from top to bottom. I love what they're doing. I mean, they have a really young team, a young competitive team. Jonathan Abram, I love to death. And it's just a young and fun team to watch. They're just fun to watch. And Aguilar, obviously, he lost them the one game that last week. But, I mean, other than that, he's been doing well on a vet minimum. So it's just – I think they're one of those teams to where they get a chance in the playoffs. See, that's one team I really do not want to face in the playoffs because you don't know what can happen against that team.
Yeah, but the only thing they can really do well is run the football. Like their defense is good. Their defense is good, but it's not like to the elite level yet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's not a bad pick. I like it. You know what I mean? Who am I to throw my nose up to it? You know what I mean? I saw what I did. I was
going to say, you put the Dolphins in there, so.
Strictly because of defense. Just defense.
And I like their head coach. I really like Flores.
I think their head coach. Yeah.
I think he's going to be really
good. I went 2 Belichick tree cats as my other 2 teams that I just think are dog fighters. They're teams you don't want to see. They're backyard teams.
So we have Tom. Philly Drinker still has coffee, the mugs, right? The A2D mugs in the store. Okay. No, just because we were getting a question for that, and then Robert was asking, "Do we have Eagle shirts?" Yeah, we have Quarterback Factory shirts. We've got a bunch of them.
Yeah, here. Want me to throw that up there real quick? Let me go grab it. I'll go grab her. Where's she at?
There she is.
Oh, I got her. There we go. All right, get in there. We got tons of shirts. We got tons of stuff. Tons of hats. We got hats. We got shirts. We got everything you can think of. All right, like Bad Things Happen in Philadelphia shirts. You can get now. You can get an Eagles color right there. right? So that's always that's a good time. And then I have one of them too. They're comfortable.
Same.
Yeah, they're comfy.
Ones are nice. Wait, I had another one. I'm in the wrong part. All right, but yeah, and they're great. They're great. So here we go. That's what I was shooting for.
Oh, there you go.
So PhillyDrinkers.com, everything, guys. I mean, seriously, there's like so much shit. Like I can't tell you. There's like socks. There's freaking blankets. There's freaking hoodies.
Oh my God. Don, I need JJ holding an umbrella shirt. Holy God.
I'm gonna text Alex right now.
Well,
I'm on it.
that
Text Alex right now.
I might buy 7 of those.
I am on it.
I'm
All right.
texting him right now.
Oh, look at Prism. Prism, we got to get you to do a commercial for us.
Jake, we're both doing it, Jake. Both of us go to Adam.
Yeah.
Go, Jake.
Caden's mom says, I can't do anything Eagles, obviously, but I'll check it out, guys. No, it's not just Eagles. It's everything. Whatever you want. We got it. And plus, you should, I mean, as a Cowboys fan, you should definitely get a bad things happen in Philadelphia shirt because it probably goes to our sports, especially the Eagles or other things. And I'll just leave it there. Right, Jake?
Pretty much. Alex just saw my message, by the way.
Yep, he's responding as we speak. So he goes. Let's see if he goes to first. This could tell us a lot about things.
He's going to go to you first. I can tell you right now.
Yeah, I was going to say you're the betting favorite right now.
I think I'm the odds favorite to win it. Oh, boom.
Tom's minus 700 to win it.
What do you guys think? You think
he responded? He responded to me. Let's go.
Yeah, me too. He said, "You think a cartoon filter?"
Tell him similar to how we did it with the QB factory.
Watch this. Tell one of you guys and or both tell him because I have a filter on my phone. Tell him I'll send him a rough draft in 2 seconds because I have that umbrella picture because I usually on 20 memes a week.
I got it.
JJ Arcega. See, fam, this is what we do behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
A little behind the scenes.
We're just making moves. That's a seller. Who brought that up? Who brought that? Don. I'm gonna send you a couple fools. A couple dollars.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll send you a couple.
Some shekels.
Checks. Some walking around in your back pocket. Maybe put it in your sock. You know what I mean? A little something.
A little sock money.
A little sock money. I'll Venmo you after a month of these shirts running for that idea. That's a phenomenal idea. That's kind of class.
That's a great idea.
There you go.
Exactly our age.
Look at that, fam.
We're family. Oh, now he said, now look, now he asked for 10%. Yo, babe, calm down. All right. I was real generous. I don't even get 10%. You know what I mean? I'm not even getting 10%. Woo. Easy does her.
See, there you go. That's the card.
If I have to look at that anymore, I'm going to punch somebody in the face.
Oh, my God. It's my most hated picture of all time. I hate this photo.
But I will wear it. Don, I
Absolutely.
love you too, brother. I love you too. That's what we do here now. We're family. You've been in every fucking show. I can't tell you for how long now. Every show.
Absolutely. Yep.
No, I mean that's fucking love. That becomes family here real quick, and people got ideas. We're open to ideas, and we're classy. You think freaking Fourth and Crumbs are doing that? You think they're freaking saying, "Yeah, I'll give you some money for that idea"? Good idea. Nobody's doing that. All right, friends, tell your family. Not everybody. Everybody's
down in prison booth.
Yeah, Prism's in everything too. A lot of guys are. Yeah. Marquise is in every show. You know what I mean? There's tons of guys in every show, and I'm probably forgetting people right now.
Yeah, Prism makes a good point. He says, "Why isn't Don?" I'll handle that right now, Prism. I don't know why he doesn't have the wrench next to him.
TTP's in every show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys in every show, and we love all you guys.
Shame on me, Don. I'll fix you.
So we got our contenders and pretenders. So now I want to shoot over to and talk a little 10-9-8 with the people. Okay.
Okay.
Ryan, go ahead and get that over to Alex. And I told him
Oh, it's already sent. It's already there.
Nice work.
She's already home.
So now, listen.
Shut up.
Pull it up. So which member, and we have on all A2D platforms, okay? Which member of the Philadelphia Sixers is most likely to be traded in this air quote off season because it isn't long. All right. Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Al Horford. We're going to start with just having to pick one. Go ahead, guys.
I think with me personally, it really boils down. I think Josh Richardson stays. It really boils down to Tobias Harris or Al Horford. And if you obviously give process of elimination, Doc Rivers, excuse me, Tobias Harris had his best year under Doc Rivers. So I think that's Tobias is staying. So that only leaves one, Al Horford. But again, it depends on where he wants, or not where he wants to go, where we can trade him and what we can get for him. I know the Knicks said they're willing to take on big contracts, so maybe that's a spot. I don't know, but if there's anyone that my binoculars are set directly on, it's Al Horford, in my opinion. Like, he can still play a little bit, he can still contribute, but not to obviously what we need right now.
No, and listen, I was going to go last, but it's that easy. It's Al Horford. That's the guy I think most likely to be traded out of those. Right? Yeah. Do you disagree with that?
No. I mean, we've been talking about it every week. I've been fighting with the people in the chat. They're saying, "Oh, there's not a team out there that'll take Al Horford." A smart team, maybe, but we know there's a lot of dumb teams.
Absolutely,
there's always a trade to be made. There always is, and I've been saying it for 2 years. We were arguing with Brinkman at in Ocean City, or I was arguing with Brinkman at Ocean City after our show last Sunday about it. I've been saying it for 2 years. I might as well hang with it until it's no longer possible. I think they're going to work out a situation for there to be a Horford and some for Buddy Hield and some. I think that's going to work itself out. But I want to send you this one trade as well, just because it was on, ESPN came out with it, and it was a 3-team trade involving one Al Horford. I have so many friggin' images in here. I don't even know where to find it. It was a 3-team trade involving us sending Al Horford and us getting back Chris Paul. So while I look for it, Chris Paul, do you think that's the situation? Do you think he's even in the realm of possibility of coming here?
I mean, I would take him over Al Horford. I mean, then I got four guys.
Yeah.
Four guys who can score the basketball, in my opinion. So I'm like, again, what did we say earlier? I'll take. What do you want to give me?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to give me? So if I can get Hield, Paul, etc., and some kind of deal for Horford, and obviously some other things, then why would I not? You know what I mean? Why would I not?
So here's the trade. It's a 3-team trade with the Sixers, the Thunder, and the Sacramento Kings. Mm-hmm. The Sixers would acquire just Chris Paul. The Thunder would acquire Buddy Hield, Zaire Smith, and Mike Scott. And the Kings would acquire Al Horford and Oklahoma City's 2020 first-round pick via Philadelphia.
Say it again one more time.
So we just get Chris Paul. That's the only thing we're getting back.
What do we give up? That's all I care. I don't care where guys go. What do we give up?
We would give up Zaire Smith and Mike Scott to the Thunder, and we would give up our first-round pick via Oklahoma City and Al Horford. So we're hanging on to Jay Rich, Thibault, obviously the 3 big guys.
Yeah, I don't know how that gets done, but yeah. I mean, sure.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, why would I not? I mean, but I don't know how the fuck that gets done. But I mean, I would love for that to happen. I love all Buddy Hield. I want shooters. I want guys who can stroke the basketball a little bit here. That's why I got to surround my point guard and Ben Simmons with. And Chris Paul can play off the ball. The NBA can be different guys can bring up the basketball. It doesn't have to be like that all the time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be missionary like it was in the 80s. Like, different guys can bring up the basketball. So, like, let that soak into the people. Now, I don't want Russell Westbrook as the other guy bring up the basketball. I need a guy who can shoot the other guy bringing up the basketball, who can run off the ball as well and shoot the basketball, and that's Chris Paul. So that's a good one. Buddy Hield doesn't need to bring the basketball up and can shoot the basketball. Good one. We talked about the other night. James Harden can bring the ball up, can also run off the ball, doesn't necessarily need the basketball, but wants the basketball. If the right deal came up for him, I would deal it outside of Ben and Joe, right? They don't go, but anybody else up for grabs. but I'm fine with keeping Tobias. I'm fine with keeping Tobias, Ben, and Joe, and adding a Chris Paul or Buddy Hield. I would be completely okay with that. I think we're that much better that way too. So, I mean, whatever direction they want to go, I'm good with as long as Ben and Joe are here. So if you want to have a big three per se, then go have a big three. If you just want to have a big two and two really good other players, then go ahead. Like if you want to have two like really good complementary players, then go that direction as well. You know what I mean? So I'm happy even if you told me I wouldn't even flip out if you said this is the team going into this year because it's a short and off season and it's like whoever we pick in the draft and we get like a vet minimum or two guy that can shoot it a little bit. You know what I mean? And you're like, all right, this is what we're going to go into it with. I want to be mad because I think our coaching staff's way better. I think everything around the organization's way better. And I think it's going to create a culture of winning basketball games. So even if it was like these three were my three guys, I still think I can win with them. It's not going to be as easy, but maybe Horford can play. Maybe Jay Rich can play. You know what I mean? So maybe some of these guys can play and have better years that can make us look better, right? That's it.
I'll give you, because to me, this is my realistic dream scenario as far as the starting five, to where this is like the top thing that I would want. And I also think there's a way to get it. So I'm not saying like Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Harden, and Westbrook. Like that's not happening. If the starting five game one for you guys was Simmons, Embiid, Tobias, Buddy Hield, and Lou Williams, you cool with that?
Yeah, I'm great with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with
that. And do you think it's realistic?
It's probably realistic, and I would say, but the only thing that hurts is the shortened off season. So, if I told you, if I just shot back at you and said, Joel Embiid, Al Horford, Tobias Harris, Josh Richardson, Ben Simmons, whoever you draft, maybe like an Austin Rivers type, and whatever else you have on your bench already. You know what I mean? Alec Burke is back, and you know what I mean? When you go from there, right? But I think I couldn't, I would think we could be better than what we were, right? I'm not saying, I don't know, we're not gonna be as good as them other deals, but we should be better. Like you would hope we would be better than that, than the way we played at the end there. And if we got Ben and Joe on the floor at the same time, I gotta believe that we're gonna be able to compete for what we want to compete for, and that's to get to an Eastern Conference final as a starter, right? So, I mean, I think we can win with that team. That team was supposed to be really good defensively. Doc Rivers talked about how he wants a defensive team, a defensive-minded group. I mean, that team had the makings of that before guys just started going out all the time, and Al Horford was just a shell of himself. Like, can we get Al Horford to be like 90% of what Al Horford was in his career for for 2 years? Just can you be like 90% of what you are? That's not asking a lot.
No.
Like, Rich, can you just be aggressive and be on the court like you were in Miami? Because you were a pretty good player. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, we have our two big guys, and we have our complimentary guy who's a fringe all-star guy. Like a fringe guy. He's never going to make it, but he's fringe-ish. Like regular season-wise in Tobias. Postseason, we've seen that act. Mm-hmm. So, there's not much I can say about that.
I'll ask you guys this, because it was a landslide as far as who's most likely to get down out of the three. But we always love doing this, the percentage chance. We're percentage chance guys. We do it a lot. When you go through, let's go through the starting five and a couple, maybe one or two notable guys off the bench that we know are slated to be here. And the fam at home and then us three will give the percentage chance that they're traded. Okay. So we'll start with the guy, obviously, that we said who's most likely. What would you say the percentage chance that Al Horford traded is?
I don't know. We're in November, right? We're in November. The season's starting in a month, less than a month and a half.
Mm-hmm. And the draft is what, next Wednesday? This Wednesday?
Two Wednesdays from now, and we're going to be on the air.
2 Wednesdays from now.
Yep.
So I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if anything gets done. I think everything might be a bad percentage because of the timetable. I mean, that's a rush job in. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's hard. I mean, it doesn't mean there's a 0% chance, but I would say, like, honestly, with all deals, I would be like 25% chance every deal. Every deal anybody named, like 25% chance right now because of the shortened off season.
Right.
Now, do I believe like a guy like Lou Williams could be here? Do I believe like a guy like Austin Rivers could be here? Yes. I do believe things like that could happen that make you better, right? You know what I mean? Like to make you like instantly better that way too. So it doesn't have to be a big deal. Like you could go do some little things and make your basketball team so much better, right? If I told you they ended up with Austin Rivers and Lou Williams, are we not better?
Oh, I mean, we're way better than we were at the start of last year, and we have a way better coaching staff.
Yeah, we're deep. We're deep.
Yeah.
I want deep. I want like 2 different lineups that can come in and hurt you. You know what I mean? And guys who can score the basketball as my second unit. And so if I can have Lou Williams and Austin Rivers come in as my second run, I know I'm getting biscuits. I know.
Honestly, at
I'm not crowning either one. I'm just saying I know I'm getting baskets.
Yeah, I mean, at the worst, say for example your scenario, which could very well play out, Tom, to where it's kind of like what we saw with the deadline, you know, the NFL trade deadline. And granted, very little things ever happened there, but really, I mean, it was non-existent really this year for a lot of different reasons, mostly because of the COVID situation and then the timetable. There's a lot of moving parts, obviously. But when you look at it, at the very least, if you came in and I look at it and you say, okay, 95% of the roster from last year is going to be intact. There's going to be no flashy moves, no big trades. I'm looking at the organization and I'm telling them, okay, I need at least 2 more shooters, if not 3 scorers. If you know what I'm saying, either they're classified as shooters or scorers. I need mostly off
just 2.
Oh, because we would imagine that Simmons and Embiid are continuing to get better, and Tobias is going to rejuvenate what he had in Los Angeles.
Yeah, or I won and a pick that can shoot it. You know what I mean? And my first round pick be able to shoot it and play. You know, and I can live with that too. Like if my first round pick can come in and not be like, I'm not saying he's gonna be great, but can come in and can shoot the 3-ball a little bit, right? Can handle the basketball a little bit, etc. That works too. So if it was like an Austin Rivers and a pick, I'm good with that. If it was a Lou Williams and a pick, I'm good with that. And I'm also good with 2 guys in a pick, obviously. You know what I mean? So I'm really rather have 2 in a pick, but 1 would be like, okay, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better. But the number, I think the number we need to get to for sure, to really feel good is 2. And you can do that without trades. Yep. You know, you got vet minimums and you got other things you can do without trades. So we'll see how it works. So go ahead, finish. My bad.
No, you're good. I look at it. Hello. Okay.
All right.
I don't know. There's an echo on my end. It's fine now. I look at it to where you have the draft, obviously, and if you don't have Al Horford still here, I need a true backup center. I do. Because I can't do the Al Horford backup center then the 4 thing, because that formula, which Brett really pushed to a fault, that's not going to work for Al. When he needs to do one thing, you know what I'm saying? You're asking him to do all these different things, it's not going to work for him.
That's why they might go old school. You know what I mean? They might run them. They could run them with the first unit. They can run them with the second unit. The guy you could go out and maybe there's a stretch 4 you could bring in, or you move the bias to the 4 and you start somebody else. You know what I mean? So there's options to put him with a second unit. So that's not the end of the world. And there's also options for them to figure out how they can play together too.
Yep.
Because it's a smarter coaching staff. So maybe, and it's guys who know old school basketball a little bit too, right? Grant, how you talk? Right. So it's like these guys also know old school basketball. So maybe they can use the Twin Towers to their advantage. Because it wouldn't be the first time in the history of basketball that 2 big guys can play together. I mean, Christ. Come on. I mean, it's not, this isn't outlandish because it's 2020. The 2 big guys can't play together.
I just think we're so stuck, and thank God it's fixed. It's
our system was so bad, right?
Yeah.
Our system was so bad. Our system didn't cater to anybody.
Anything.
Like Doc's system and Sam Cassell automatically are going to cater to these players 100 times better.
And then you look at Jaeger, for example, that, you know, he's going to develop everything in the defense, which we're already good at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We brought in great names.
That's why, man, like it. I appreciate Brett. He's a great guy. And with all due respect, he's going to get a job somewhere else. But I really, truly believe this season's not going to, it could prove how good Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid is. but I just have a really strong feeling because of how many moves we made so far with this coaching staff and how they're going to help. And then I think even the players we bring in, I think the legacy of this season is going to be showing really how bad Brett Brown was at his job. And that happens.
Listen, good guy, right? Like you said, good guy, ran his course.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
He through some dark times.
He didn't get better.
No.
He wasn't helped this year. Nothing helped him this year. But that loss last year should have been his job. I'm glad we hung on to him for one more year because then we got what we got here.
Yep.
If we didn't hold on to him for one more year, we wouldn't have got here.
It caused urgency. It caused urgency in this organization. That's true.
And we want guys that when they're pressed, they make big time decisions. And I think this organization went out of their way to really bring in basketball guys. And if this can't work and Joshua Harris can't walk away from his superstars in terms of hanging out with them, then this can really work. Like I need my owners away from my players during the season. Like I can't have you hanging out with them and shit like that. Okay, all right. This isn't for that. Like we're trying to win championships, and you can hang out all you want. Hang out in the off season. During the season, it's get to work. It's business. Doesn't mean you don't go out and have a drink with a guy once in a while. But you know what I mean? But come on, be an owner too. Be professional.
Credit to Joel Embiid, by the way, because I watched the entire introductory press conference because I'm a junkie for that stuff. Obviously, I'm a junkie for them, like just saying the right things, even though it means absolutely nothing. We always joke about Tom with Chip Kelly, like he can win the press conference. Like I love that stuff, especially this time of year. I eat that stuff up. They said, and it was Daryl, Doc, Elton, Joshua Harris. They all said Joel Embiid's been in the building every single day since quarantine, since they got back from the bubble. They don't say that about Ben Simmons. They were asked where Ben Simmons is, and Daryl and Doc said, "Oh, we don't know." Which, I mean, they said they don't know.
Hold the fuck on.
I'm just gonna put this up. I'm just gonna put this up right here, and yep.
You're right. This is why another reason I don't listen to them too much. Because you go into these things. So they ask you, you know where Joel Embiid is? And you say, yeah. He's right next to me, essentially. He's always in the gym here. Well, where's Ben? You would think that they say, oh, yeah, he's in wherever. He's at home. He's working out. He's getting
somewhere.
Wherever. He's just say he's at home. He's working out. He's getting ready to go. Right? That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say. Right? Like as an organization, what are you doing saying that? As an organization, you got to cover up talk and say, oh, yeah, he's home. He's working out. You know, we spoke to him. Excited to get going. Right? Done deal. You say you don't know? You don't know? I would have came flying in it. I would have might be freaking tackled you. I might have been tackling people in there. What do you mean you don't know? You don't know where he's at? You guys didn't talk at all? Who the hell is he? Like, who else? Maybe put him on a plane somewhere. I don't know. Maybe we got
James Harden. Harden.
No. I want a freaking King's ransom back, and a young King's ransom. I don't want old King's ransom. I want young King. You know what I mean? I want guys under 20 ball.
As Ralphie would say, so you want LaMelo Ball in the first rounder then? Oh God, he's thinking. He's thinking.
No, I would take. He's got the number one pick. Minnesota. Who is it?
Yes. Oh no. We're not doing we can't do this again, Tom. We can't do the picks again.
Yeah, I want that, and I want I want freaking what's his face too. I want D'Angelo Russell too. I want both. Both of you can have Ben. If we don't know where he is, that's all. If we don't know where he is, you understand? We don't know where he is. Talk is to me. You don't understand? We don't know where he is. We don't know where he is. Says okay. Well, I'll make sure I'll let somebody else find out where he is. You know what I mean? Somebody else can go look for him. Because guess what? I just traded you for LaMelo and D'Angelo Russell. And you tell me you won't do that deal? You guys don't do that deal?
I just feel like we can get better. I think we can get something better for him.
We might be able to.
I think we get Devin. I think we can trade him and some things for Devin Booker. Like, that's where I'm going.
That's just one guy. I'm talking about two. You already know D'Angelo can play. D'Angelo's already a proven player. He can flat out score the basketball. We already know what he can do, right? And you pair him with Joel Embiid, and that should be exciting too. And you have Tobias. Now you get shooters around, right? And I'm just saying, we don't know what ball can be. We don't know. But at the end of the day, what happens if he can ball? I'm just saying we don't know where the guy is. I want Ben Simmons. I don't want to trade Ben Simmons. Okay. I'm just saying, can we clean this shit up so I don't have to have this conversation? Can we just clean this shit up in here? Somebody clean it up already. You're getting me upset. We don't know where he is.
So I'm saying, when you talk about percentages, I might put Ben Simmons around that 19% trade. 19, just a solid 19. Joel 0, by the way, 0%. They're not trading.
Yeah, no way.
I'll never trade Joel Embiid, but I wouldn't trade to Ben Simmons either. But if I don't know where he is, I'll consider D'Angelo Russell and LaMelo Ball, or D'Angelo Russell and the other kid. What's his name? Who's the other kid? Who was the other prospect?
Oh, I know the kid from Australia.
No, hold on, I'll get it. Begins with a W, like Weinstein or something. I'm drawing a freaking huge blank.
Same.
Wait, I don't got him ranked high. What's going on here? Oh, James Wiseman. James Wiseman.
Oh, Wiseman. Okay.
He's another interesting one. I mean, it might be Anthony Edwards. You know what I mean? It might be Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell for Ben Simmons, but would they do that? You know what I mean? Or are you doing? Are they doing that? You know, whoever that first pick in the draft is, are they doing that? Now they got us taking Devin Dotson, 6'1" point guard out of Kansas, and then at 36, that's not our first round.
They've got Wiseman going 11th. What the hell happened?
They got us taking Cole Anthony, point guard out of North Carolina. The first
round. Yes,
at 21.
Okay, sold. Cool. I'll do that.
We got 21, then we got a bunch of seconds.
Five picks.
Yeah, but what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got two picks in the first 6 in the second round, which I'm not a big second round guy, but good organizations can get some guys that can come in and play right away. I mean, you might be able to get, Devin Dotson, a kid from Kansas, he can play. Devin Dotson can play. I've seen Devin Dotson play. Elijah Hughes, I mean, Wilson would have to tell me better about Elijah Hughes, but he's a shooting guard out of Syracuse. So they already got us addressing guard play. Like, it's all over guard play. Even another pick is Jalen Harris out of Nevada, point guard, shooting guard, right? Like, every pick. Where's another one? Every pick. Here we go, small forward finally. You know what I mean? Out of Louisville. So every pick's like, the positions that, hey, we need this one, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's funny. It's funny.
But Tom, we as a fan base, the last 7 years, honestly, we haven't been conditioned to care about second round picks because all the organization has done has made solid picks and then sold it away for cash. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's actually disgusting that if you look at all the guys that we picked in the second round that traded away for cash considerations, it's actually disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys are, I'm not saying they're Klay Thompsons or anything, but they're like Shake Miltons. They're players that can play. They're guys that we could use in situations.
Yeah, so, you just need better players, right? Yes. Like, if you come out of this draft even with 6 picks and 2 of them can be impactful players, either off your bench, etc. For the rest of your run here, that's a win of a draft. Like, I'm not expecting the NBA for you to hit these other ones, but if you can hit 2 picks that become like either one or 2 things for you, either really good scorers off your bench, right, or really good defenders, good slash guys, whatever the case may be, right? Mm-hmm. So you just need an influx of more talent and young talent, and so you have a lot of picks to be able to pull that off. Like, if you wanted to get back in the first round, you probably could with either a second. You could even give up a second and 2 firsts and probably get yourself in the lottery. You know what I mean? You could probably possibly get yourself in the lottery. Like, if you wanted to get one impactful player and get like maybe the 12th pick in the draft. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because if you get in the lottery, you're gonna have to give up another first. And
we have the GM. We have the aggressive GM to do that.
You would think,
or I'm sorry, the president of operations, whatever you want to call it.
Right, and you're right, because if he thinks that makes his basketball team better immediately, getting the 12, 10, whatever, right? And he's like, he feels like there's a player up there that he really likes, and is honed in on, then I can see them trading some picks to try to get up there. I could also see that on draft night more so than a trade. You know what I mean? I can see more of a deal on draft night to get up somehow than a trade right now. I can see a trade once the season gets going, for sure. Everything's
a lot of that. I think there's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah, like a little Buddy Hield talk, a little etc. Right? I smell it. You've been on it for a while, so I don't want to knock it like it can't happen because I believe that's a realistic thing. Just it's probably like a 2-month away thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But if you're balling, you're not going to change anything. So it could be a win-win. We see what we have, and then we make deals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because there's nothing wrong for the first month seeing if Al Horford and Joel Embiid can play together under this regime. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing. I mean, it's all fair game at that point because you're gonna like a month of games sounds small, but it's really not because if it doesn't show any signs of being better than last year, then you have your answer.
Yeah. Simple process. It's a process. Like if you're balling up and guys are healthy and you're playing great basketball, M Heavy, he's got to shoot the basketball. I know he said he can't shoot it, but he's got to. He can. He just doesn't want to. Nope. I mean, if you look at his percentage at the free throw line, it got better. It keeps getting better, so he can shoot it, but they don't know where he is. So right now, we don't know. Nobody knows where he is. That's what.
See, Jake. See, I knew what I was doing. I bring up that one little comment, and I knew.
Just on the whole thing.
I'll just sit back and watch.
It's so.
I don't trust him. When I again, it comes out of nowhere. Ben Simmons is my favorite player in this city to watch. I don't trust the kid at all. I don't trust him.
Can I say something right there?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like watching Ben play as well. This is twofold, right? Not only am I going to smoke them for saying it, which just sounds so dumb, and it's like, what are you guys doing? You're smarter than this. But I really want to smoke him if they haven't talked.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they haven't talked to him, you're the most egotistical dude in the world. You think somebody owes you something?
Yeah.
Like if I bring in a new coach and stuff, I'm talking to them all the time. I would assume they've talked though.
Yeah, I'm sure of that.
Poor choice of words. Like when he's not here, we don't know where he is. Like a poor choice of words. Like it has to. I'm praying the fucking God. The poor choice of words. Please be a poor choice.
I just questioned that because it wasn't Joshua Howard said it. It was Elton Brand who said it.
Well, Allen looks miserable. Screw Allen. I don't care if you didn't.
What do you mean he's miserable? He's got an extension. What do you mean he's miserable?
He doesn't look happy. Wow. But I'll tell you something. Okay, Allen said he doesn't know where he is. Grow up, Allen. You know exactly where he is. So poor choice of words. If I thought you meant Doc said it or Morey said it, I would have smacked him. And that's why I was ready to deal him. Oh, and he just said Allen doesn't know where he is? Okay, Allen, you're fine. You know where he is. Shut up. That's the dumbest statement of 2020, and there's been a lot of them. I don't know where he is. You absolutely know where he is, Allen. If Doc didn't know where he is, I said, what is going on, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
If Morey says, I don't know where he is, then you're like, what's going on, guys, right? If Allen says, I don't know where he is, you're like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
I feel like all of them should know where he is, to be honest.
All of them should, but I was like thinking that he didn't call Doc or Morey when they got hired.
You know no, I don't think that.
I went all aggressive. I'm dealing with him, blah, blah, blah. I'm back. But
I don't know. I just think it's telling, that one guy is nowhere to be found and nowhere near the building. And another guy who's, he's in there every day. They can't stop talking about him. It makes me really think like,
Is it surprising? I told you this from day one that Joel Embiid's the guy you build around. Joel Embiid's the guy who wants to win. Joel Embiid's the guy who wants to get better. I believe them things. I truly believe them things. Is he perfect yet? No. Needs to get perfect. I love that they can't get him out of the gym. And I also told you that Ben Simmons isn't that guy yet. Joel Embiid's a killer. Joel Embiid's a carrier. When Joel Embiid's playing his best basketball, we win basketball games. Now, can he do it by himself in this league nowadays? No. Like with no Ben, it kills him. You know what I mean? So they complement each other. But at the end of the day, what has Ben? He's become a damn good defender, a great defender in this league.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, and his free throw percentage has gone up. What has he gotten better at on the court?
Certainly hasn't gotten better at staying healthy.
No.
As he started shooting the basketball and gotten better with that. And I'm not talking about 3-pointer. I'm just talking about shooting a basketball.
The mid-range game is still non-existent.
And I know it's non-existent around the league, but it needs to be existent for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I have major concerns like you do, Rye, and I'm sure you do, Jake. Like,
yep.
I'm over him thinking he's better than anybody.
I've always said this, and the big reason, like I said before,
Guys
he's got to show me. He's got to show me a lot. He really does. This year, and I love him. I'm happy we picked him. I don't take anything away. I still believe that if he locks in, when I say if, heavy if, like capital IF, if he does lock in, then I do believe he could be one of the most fun, entertaining, better basketball players in this league, honestly, because he does have mirroring images to the all-time greats. He does when he cares, when he locks in. Mm-hmm. But Tom, we talk about it a lot, Jake. We hear a lot of whispers of stuff that goes on. I'll leave alone because that's not what we're
right. You're either a killer or you're not.
Don't, and he's not.
He's not. No,
he's not a killer. He's a guy with what?
Can he grow into it? Ever?
Personally, the only chance of that happening is if he actually listens to. I'll say this: the only chance is this coaching staff.
Yep.
He has kind of the. He looks like he's going to be the player that's going to be a great player that doesn't amount to anything in a small organization. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to call, like, perfect example for different reasons entirely. So don't think I'm comparing the players. Kemba Walker, okay? What has his legacy been? Really fun player, awesome player in Charlotte. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I think one of his his big criticisms has been he hasn't been able to do anything in the big moments. It hasn't amounted to anything. You know what I'm saying? I think this kid is a victim of his own greatness, to where he grew up being great, being surrounded by people who told him he was great. Going to LSU, he was a god among children when you talk about the talent on that team. Jake, you know this. You're an LSU guy. You saw it for your firsthand.
And he didn't even want to go to LSU. He didn't even want to go to college. He wanted to go right to the NBA.
He wanted to leave campus mid-season.
Yep.
And I love him because of how talented he is. But there's so many signs that point to it's a shame. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But like Tom always says, he's still a kid. So he's not a written story yet.
Listen, he's special in a lot of ways. And you're either a killer or you're not a killer. And I'll leave it at this. Right now, not a killer.
Mm-hmm.
Can he turn into that? Sure. Because all it takes is more aggressiveness and wanting the basketball. So you can get better at that. It's a big year for him and me. And it's not a lot of things. So I'll leave it at that. But I believe he has all the talent in the world. It's on him. But I do believe that my basketball team will always be better with Joel Embiid's leadership than Ben Simmons. But I believe Ben Simmons has the ability to have a higher upside because he plays the guard position and he's a mismatch nightmare if he shot the basketball too. Because then he's taking everybody off the dribble because he's faster than everybody. You know what I mean? Because he's so quick. So, and if he can pump fake, he's going by everybody. You know what I mean? But the pump fake don't work. You don't go nobody. You know what I mean? Nobody's going anywhere. So he has the potential to have better upside, but he'll never be the leader or the dominant force that Joel Embiid can be.
Mm-hmm.
Can be. And it's the fact that he can shoot the three ball too, which makes Joel special and convert in today's NBA. People hate to say it, but the fact that he can hit it is a big important in today's NBA. You know what I mean? Big guy's got to be able to shoot the basketball, and he can. So there's many things we say about Ben. Joe's got the whole game, got the whole package offensively. And Joe doesn't get enough credit. He's a first-team defense guy, even if he doesn't get it. You know what I mean? So that's, you know what I mean? So he has all them things that Ben has. And who says Joe's more banged up than Ben is? You know what I mean? We can't even say that now. You know what I mean, boys? We can't even say that.
Listen, there is a certain big man who plays center who's named Joel Embiid. He was on the court at the end. He was there. He was fighting for his life in that Celtics series.
Yeah.
Ben was nowhere to be found.
Nobody showed up. You know what I mean? It's fun. Guys really stepped up because there was a bunch of slop. You know, that's why we got to, We got to have healthy guys. We're not good enough to be missing one of them 3 guys in the playoffs.
Nope.
Ben, Joe, or Tobias. Even if Tobias goes missing on his own, we're not built for that way. So build around Joel. Robert says, "Yep, Robert, we couldn't agree with you more, brother." And heavy, we don't need any centers. No, we need 3 and D guys. You're right, brother. You're right. And it'd be nice if Matisse Thybulle developed a jumper, like at least enough to respect the 3 game. You know what I mean? Like, his percentage went up from last year. That'd be huge for this basketball team too, because they want to give him minutes because he can flat out D up. So can he get better shooting the basketball? It's important things as we lead up to December 22nd, which I can't be more excited about. I can't be more excited about that this is going to happen. I can't be more excited about basketball. I'm excited about sports being on all the time. Basketball's on all the time. Always be games played. Basketball comes back, that leads to hockey. We know that's going to work. Even if there's no fans, I don't give a rat's ass in basketball. Play in your arenas. It doesn't matter. You don't bubble. Just play in your arenas. Do things. Yep. You don't have to go to Orlando. All right, and let's go. And let's get back and let's play some basketball here.
I'm ecstatic for 2 Wednesdays from now. To be honest, I just like earlier I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, oh my god, it's a Wednesday. Oh my god.
Well, can I tell you what Lennon texted me?
Yeah, absolutely.
He goes, "This is great." And Len, most supportive person in the world. So he goes, "Jesus, aren't you burned out talking about the Eagles already?" And like 5 crying laughing emojis. And I responded with a bunch of crying emojis. Said, "No, we were talking Sixers." And she said, "They're not even playing." And I said, "They start next month." LOL. This is what I do. Crying emoji. I have a special set of skills talking sports. That's it.
Special set of skills.
That's it.
Napoleon Dynamite. I have a particular set of skills.
Yeah. It's fucking what's his face? Liam Neeson.
Oh my god, Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know
where you got Napoleon Dynamite.
No, it's a different version of the quote, but different, way different. Okay. Sorry, Liam Neeson.
Take it how you will. You know what I mean? It's funny regardless. So it was just funny, that response.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I mean, this is what we do. So we'll go. Are we done Sixers? We're good there, right?
Yeah, we'll save the rest for 2 Wednesdays from now. We'll be heavy. It might be an all Sixers show, to be honest. It might be an all NBA.
It will be good. It will be good to get back.
It'll be refreshing. Absolutely.
Hold on one sec. I got this up right for us right now. All right. So some games against the spread on Sunday. Try to get some people some money. A couple dollar cents. Here's a fun one. All right. 2 teams we talked about. 2 teams we talked about recently as contenders, pretenders. Seahawks at Buffalo. And now Buffalo's a home dog in this football game. Seattle's giving Buffalo 3 points in this game. This is a weird one to me. I'm going to take the home dog. I'm going to take Buffalo. I'm going to take Buffalo in this game. I'm going to take the home dog. Like, Buffalo's too good of a football team too. They be getting points when they're 6-2 and the other team's 6-1. Like, if anything, Vegas telling me that Seattle's 6 points better than them in their own building. That's what Vegas is trying to tell me. I don't buy it. I think it's a closer game than that, and I'll take the Bills getting 3 at home. Even if they lose by a point, or 2 points, I still think they either win or they cover the 3 somehow.
You know what's funny too, because I was looking at the schedule earlier before we started the show, but I wasn't looking at the spread. I was literally going to predict Buffalo by a field goal. That was going to be. That's a win. That's a win.
That's an outright win. You know what I mean? They're a home dog. I love home dogs when they're a good football team. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're a good football team, I'll take you as a home dog. So I like Buffalo. Who do you guys like? Right? You like Buffalo, obviously?
Yep.
Jake? Buffalo?
Yeah, you know what? Give me Buffalo. Yeah. Why not?
Ooh.
Here's an interesting one. The Bears at the Titans. Titans are giving the Bears 6.5 in this game. The Titans have lost, I believe, either 2 or 3 football games in a row.
Ever since they lost their left tackle. What was it, Lawan? Did they lose Lawan for the year?
Yeah. So if you look at that, I mean, who are they to give anybody 6.5? I think this is more of a defensive battle. I don't think the Bears win, but I think they cover the 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think they win the football game. I think Tennessee wins the football game. I just think the Bears cover the 6.5. It's a lot of points, and what I think is a defensive matchup, right? Like, I don't think anybody blows anybody out in that game. Nobody's blowing anybody out. And to beat somebody by 6.5, you're almost beating up on them a little bit.
Where is it, Thomas? It's in Chicago?
No, it's in Tennessee. It's not like it's nothing special for them. Like they're both good defenses. Like Tennessee has a better offense, but Chicago's defense is good enough to control it and keep it close.
Yeah, I have this being like a 20 to like 17-ish game.
Yeah, which is a cover. Like I think Tennessee wins.
Yes.
I just think the Bears cover. That's because that 6.5 is a lot to me. So I'll take the Bears. You guys good with the Bears, or you guys go Titans in that?
Yeah, I'm going Bears to cover just based off of this. I think there's going to be – I mean, we've seen moving parts. The Titans just cut, what, 2 guys on defense with
Something
Beasley
like that,
and Joseph?
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, the funny thing is I would say that this would be like a Trubisky game, like we would see Trubisky come in, but he's hurt. So I think Foles is going to come out and he's going to play well enough to keep him in a game to where they don't bench him next week. Jake?
Yeah, see, this one's tough. But you know what? Give me the Bears. Give me the Bears in this one.
Yeah, it's not tough. The 6.5 is too many points.
Yeah.
I mean, 6.5. Here's another great one. Ravens at Colts, right? Even.
It's a pick 'em, which is weird.
Pick 'em, which is weird. Oh, on turf. Give me the Ravens.
Yep. Yeah, this is going to be Lamar. This is going to be the Lamar finding it game.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
ESPN can't wait. You know what I mean? Certain outlets cannot wait for him to, and he's going to listen. Them guys on turf that can flat out fucking run around like that.
Just fly, yeah.
Woo. Remember Vic on turf?
Oh God, Jesus!
These guys on turf are a different animal. So give me the Ravens. Plus their defense is loaded. Give me the Ravens over the Colts. I don't buy the Colts. So I like the Colts defense, but I don't buy the Colts overall.
If Phillip Rivers wins that game against that Ravens defense, Lamar Jackson, I mean, he had to have played a horrible game. And it's a shame. Like, it's really a shame because I like the Colts roster. I picked them to win the division.
Mm-hmm.
But Phillip, I mean, he sucks. He's bad. I mean, he's really bad.
I mean, guys, the guy's 90. Here's another one. And we all go with that game?
Yes.
Yeah. Dolphins at Cardinals. Cardinals are giving the Dolphins 4.5.
What time is that game, Tom?
That's a 4:25er.
I'm making sure I'm watching that game.
Because the rest of them are like, I'll get to another one too that teams we both like. Give me the Dolphins to cover. I don't know if they win, but they cover. I don't know if Arizona probably wins the football game, but give me Dolphins to cover. And listen, they want to be in my contender role as one of the last 4 teams standing. This is a game they got to go win, but then they also got to go beat my other contender. So this is a tough one for me. This one hurts the soul. But give me the Dolphins to cover it. I don't know if they're going to win it. Give them. I'll take the 4.5 though, and I'll play a game where maybe their defense can control things and keep them in it. We'll see though.
I'm going to go Cardinals comfortably. I'm going to go Cardinals by around 10, just because the Dolphins are really banged up right now, especially on their offensive weapon side. They're so banged up with the running backs. I didn't pay attention enough. The leading Dolphins beat reporter said the other day that they have to, quote, take Jordan Howard out of mothballs.
Who are you? You just hashtag Jordan Howard on Twitter and just find out news on Jordan Howard. I feel like he's the most missed man in your heart because it's so funny. Like,
I mean, listen, I'm not over it.
Everything circles back. You know what I mean? Like, is this Jordan Howard thing got brought up again? I love it.
Listen, I may or may not have a picture from the Jordan Howard Green Bay game up on in a frame over here, just off camera. Okay. You know, I may or may not have that. It may or may not be my screensaver on my iPhone as well.
Jordan. Are we good on this fucking game? Let's get off.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got 2 more for you. All right, everybody pick that one. Jake, who'd you take?
I took the Dolphins.
Let's go, baby. Raiders at Chargers. 2 teams we both all like. I mean, the 2 young that we both like. It's an even game too, so it's another even piece, which is interesting. You know what? I like the Raiders a lot. Give me the Chargers at home. Give me the Chargers at home.
As much as I really like what John Gruden's doing, I'm rooting for the Chargers this week because Justin Herbert deserves better than that statistic saying that they're the first team in NFL history to lose 4 straight games, giving up 16+ points. Justin Herbert's better than that. Put some, you know what I'm saying? People are crushing Justin Herbert. He's he's the one thing that's not wrong with that football team. Him and Keenan Allen. So I'm going to go Chargers here.
Yeah, go Chargers. Real quick. I love that you went Chargers with me too. Mark, yeah, we talk a ton of baseball, brother. When baseball's around. Baseball junkie here. Coach it. A lot of sweepsy coaches it,
Fire McPhail.
Yeah, we're here. Trust me. We love baseball's here. We're here. We got a lot of guys on A2D that love baseball. Tons. Last one for you. A big one. Sunday nighter. All right, we can dabble with the Monday night too. Just have fun. But Saints at Bucks. Tampa minus 4.5. Tampa didn't play a clean game in New York. I think they smoke them. I think they smoke the Saints.
With Brown and Godwin now back, abso-friggin.
It's over.
Smoke them. So they're giving 4.5. So I got Tampa.
Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa, no question. I think Antonio Brown goes off in his first game back. I really do. I really do.
With this lineup of games, I'm really happy the Eagles don't have a bye. Or I'm sorry, the Eagles have a bye because there's so many interesting games this week.
Yeah,
when I was looking at them to go off of to read them off to you guys, I was like, holy shit, what a docket. What a docket. Yeah.
We got lucky this week. We got really lucky.
Woo. I love it. It's like, because listen, at the end of the day, we're sports junkies. So give us sports and give us good games. We're in. We're not hard to please here. You know what I mean? Ass slam.
As long as they know.
I was waiting for that too.
12:03, boys. That's when that shit comes out. Patriots at Jets, just for funsies. The Monday nighter. New England. And who the fuck is New England to give anybody 8? But New England, the Jets are terrible. But New England's giving the Jets 8 on Monday night in New York. And New York's an 8-point home dog, which they should be. But to New England, who hasn't played good at all.
I'm going Jets outright.
So am I. I love that you said that.
That's win one. That's win one of the year. Jets outright.
Sam Darnold's not going to see ghosts anymore. This is the redemption.
Yep.
I mean, the Patriots stink. I mean, they stink.
So bad.
New England fans are already complaining, and they're going to crucify Bill after they lose this one.
Honestly, I
love Bill. I love Bill. Truthfully, I really do.
Yeah.
But, bro, if anybody, it's a great combination, and they won as a combo, okay? But to think that Tom Brady wasn't the players play, guys. I say it all the time. Players play. Greatness plays. Greatness helps good coaches. Greatness can take good coaches into great coaches. He was a damn good defensive guy. Always has been. Tom Brady helped him become a great head coach. He was a big part of each other. A big part of each other's growth into being great. Because Bill's great. You know what I mean? Bill's great. But it just shows you talent wins, though. No matter how smart you are as a coach. He lost so many defensive players this year for COVID reasons, etc., right? So his defense now nowhere near as good as it was.
No.
That kills him. So you can't just get anybody and plug and play in this league. And it shows the Howie Roseman that, that kind of side too, where you can't just plug and play. Right? You got to have talent. You got to have studs. And that's where it is, and that's what happened to him. And it's nothing against him being a great coach. It just shows you how great Tom Brady is. Because Tom Brady's on New England, they're not 2-5.
No,
they're not 2-5. They might be 4-3, but they're not 2-5. They're not 2-5. I can tell you that right off the bat. I mean, not that he went to a bad place at all. Because if there's a destination for Tom Brady, it was Tampa. Like there wasn't a better fit in the world. Warm weather, right? Getting out of cold weather games where he struggles as you get older, right? The body don't feel good in the cold, right? So you have to play home playoff games in Tampa, right? Right, guys? Right, guys? Look at his division. His division is all warm weather games, right? I mean, you're a beauty. And a beauty sleep. He played another 3 years. And Bruce Arians, Uncle Offense. I mean, you go Mike Evans, you go Godwin. You go all the guys you brought in the running back wise. Then you go Antonio Brown comes in the house. You talk about a top 5 defense in football. I mean, Maron.
Tom, you're spot on. I mean, we talked about this, a year and a half ago. I was saying that there was only two places he was ever going to go.
Mhm.
It was and it was both in that same division. It was New Orleans if Drew Brees retired, which in the months after he signed there, it came out that, he had conversation with Drew Brees. He literally talked to Drew Brees and he said, hey, are you planning on retiring? Because if you are, I am looking there as a possible destination. It was there because you had Kamara and Thomas and Peyton, and then obviously where we went, the Buccaneers. It made too much sense. He was never going to Chicago.
The Saints wouldn't. The Saints to me would never make sense because I don't think he would do that to Brees, even if Brees retired. Like I don't think out of the respect he would have for Drew, unless Drew's like, hey, go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? Which he could say. He could be like, I don't care. I want you to do it. He could say that, or he could say, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you're going to do my legacy. You're going to come in and win one. Like, I can't do that, right? Like, as a competitor, you're like, I'm not going to retire then. Like, you're thinking about coming here? No, I'm going to stick around then. You know what I mean? You go find somewhere else to go. And then Brady, typical Brady, would say, okay, fuck you. I'm going to come in your division. and that division had options. You know what I mean? Every team could have taken him. Outside of like Atlanta can't pay him. But you know what I mean? Everybody else could have taken him. And he could have made a better choice for himself. Good for him. Good for him. But I don't know how the Jets win, but I'll say they cover. They covered 8. I can't have the Jets win anything until they win a game.
17-13 Jets. Book it.
Oof. No way.
Oof.
No way. I mean, Cam Newton's been atrocious, but I still feel like he puts up more than 14 against the Jets. That's how bad the Jets have been. So, all right, fam. Big docket tomorrow. Kicking it stateside, starting you off here 10:30 for our soccer junkies. We'll have the weekly roundup at 4. Is Mr. Andy, who bounced out for whatever he bounced out for. Is he on tomorrow night?
I believe so, yes.
So we're going to have an interesting show on Saturdays, hopefully. On Saturdays, we'll see what day, maybe Saturday 7 to 9, where we'll have simulated Eagles games running. A really cool thing. Got a guy who wants to do a show, and it's a really cool concept, and I'll let him explain his concept and everything he's got, but it's really cool, and it'll be fun, and it's another just interactive piece for the peeps. You know what I mean? We sort of predict what's going to happen if you run Doug Peterson's offense against, team A, B, C, whatever coming up.
Interesting.
Okay.
They're really cool breakdown there. We'll have fun with that. But yeah, what else I got? So what time is Andy on?
10, I believe.
So, yep, in this very ring. 10 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, peeps, for all the wrestling nerds. Mm-hmm. And then we segue into Sunday. And you agree, disagree with me Sunday night. I got one more tournament here. So Sunday night, agree, disagree. And besides that, we got a new show starting next week, 2 of them. Card Knocks starting. I said Card Knocks, right?
Card Knocks. Yep.
I confused myself past 12. Card Knocks Wednesday nights. That'll be 7 to 8, 7 to 8:30, and then you have the AM and the PM fix AM and the PM, however you want to say it after, and then Tuesday night the ladies. Tuesday night a little ATD after dark. We'll be joining you. So myself, I think Uncle Chrome might bring his chickness in. So it's gonna be a fun one. So 3 great ladies. You guys already know Tori, Ariana, and Lindsay. Lindsay's a pro. So Lindsay already does this shit at Temple, and she's a Temple cheerleader. So, around the game, which we love. So a lot of big things coming, people. That's all. We're here to talk to you. We're here to let you know. All right. Don, calm down, Don. Calm down, Don. Put it down, babe. Put it down. You know what I mean? All right. We're going to leave it there. Listen, Prism, you know the deal, baby. If you miss Card Knocks, you miss any show, we're still up on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We never go away there, right? And Twitch. Our shows are always there. All right. And then you also, if you want to listen somewhere else, you want to download on the podcast forum, we're everywhere. Like iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, Speaker, Google Play, everywhere. Like, fam, subscribe, download. Help us help you. I mean, nobody else gives percentages of T-shirts around here like that.
Yeah. You sure come.
Take notes. Take notes, Fogelmania. On how you have some class with some T-shirts, you crumberlas. That's how you got to punch him in the face on a Friday night, Jake. You know what I mean? Boom. 2 shots tonight. And boom, boom, boom. And I came here. Great time. Any you want to do this one? Any closing thoughts? No.
How was your weekend?
Any closing thoughts? I didn't talk for fucking 3 hours. You got any closing thoughts? No.
How about the weather we're having? Wow.
Yeah, great
Let me
time
tell
outside. Let me tell you, beautiful. Listen, we love all of you that chimed in. You guys know this. I can't read all the freaking name. Richard Shawi, that's a new name. What's up, brother? And you said Wentz over under Wentz, so 20 interceptions. I don't know. Under. I'll say he stays under it somehow. Let's go.
Under.
Love you all. Oh my God, get that off my screen. I see it back there. There's no way you were. It's a great pull out of you. I was expecting her. I was expecting to swipe. I want to swipe. I would have fell freaking. I would be through the wall.
It would have been another Miyagi situation. Another Miyagi.
Yeah, I'm gonna wax this right on out of here. We at. But the doc, make him yours. You guys heard it. Specialized Physical Therapy, I'll say. Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. We out.